Hello. Hello. So yeah, so by the time, you know, I have all the lights on, I make sure my doors are locked, I've got the water beside me. Once I have all that sorted out, then I'm able to, like, you know, sit down. Hands. 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 There we go. So then that way, once I'm sit down and all that kind of I'm sat down and all that kind of nonsense, you know, all the advertisement I ran at the start is done. And there won't be any pre-rolls for, like, the next, so wait, because hang on a second. So, because they're 30-second allotments, so 3, and it's 2, so it's 2 a minute, and I'm doing it for, you should only have been hit with, like, 6 tops. I don't know why it's 8, but yeah, if you're looking to get in here, like, real fast, be hitting that, like, you know, uno number 1-0 kind of thing, then yeah, maybe get a sub. Alright, I need to get, wrong camera angle, but sure, let's just leave me here for a minute as I go and get my new shirt. Well, it's not new, it's just so I can have my Cactar shirt, because we're going through Final Fantasy nonsense. And this is the shirt I have to wear while playing Final Fantasy, because this is the shirt. It's really great. So yeah, hi there, Furry Cures. And then we got Icy Paul here, heard pants instead of hands. No, hands. I have pants. I don't know how people can do this, but I refuse to, like, go to a computer without pants on. And so by extension, I'm not going to stream without my pants. So how in the world, you know, you have pants? Yes, I have pants. I am always going to have pants, okay? Pants. See? Pants. So yeah. Man, I didn't do Final Fantasy last week, and the week before that, I basically just didn't want to do anything. And I'm gonna be real with you. Like, this Saturday also had that same sort of feeling as well, where I was just sort of like, you know what? Maybe I don't want to do, like, streaming on the weekend. I had that thought very strongly in my head. It was very... It's a terrible thinking. I don't 100% like it. Thank you for the head pats, though. I see. What am I looking for? Because I still... Square Enix, that's what I'm looking for. Copy that. Paste that into the thingy-madiggies. So yeah, because, like... I don't know. Ever since this year of, like, coming back from holiday and such, and then just, like, still trying to deal with my weight and all that kind of nonsense, it's like... I don't know. I just haven't been able to get into, like, a regular, like, sort of schedule that I personally like. Also, I'm just gonna get this random cable out of the way and move this over here. I don't want to toss this. Although I probably am gonna have to... Your weight? Yeah, no, my weight. Hang on a sec. Let me just put this cable away. Hi there, Bone. How's your 68 kilo ass? Drop that into there.
Furry Cures 1221 thinks you should do 20 squats.
You go suck a lemon, Blue. Alrighty. I gotta do my 20 squats right now. And I'm doing it without the Leap Motion plugged in either, so you guys won't even see the you won't even see my arms do some funny things, but I'm glad to see you being able to get to it before Bone was able to redeem it, which was kind of funny. Alright,
go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Bone Musky Dog
13.
has added quote number 317. Hi Bone, how is your 68 kilograms ass?
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats, Furry Cures. Yeah, one of the things I kind of want to... Actually, before I go, like, trailing off... No, Bone doesn't have a 68 kilo ask. Bone is just 68 kilos. Bone is half my weight. Well, he's, like, not exactly half my weight, because hold on a sec, I got the... Damn it, I should have kept the drawing tablet, like, in reach of me, but I didn't, because I'm an idiot. Okay. So. Breathing nonsense. So, bleh. Fuck.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Alright, so yeah, so... At the beginning of the year, I was at, like, 122 kilos-ish. I am still at 122 kilos. Some days I'm 124 kilos, which is not that great, and then some days I'm 120 kilos. I would like to get out of that whole, 2 kilogram, like,
Quote
going up and down.
317.
Ooh, what's this gonna say?
Hi Bone, how is your 68 kilograms ass?
Okay, I'm actually surprised that Brian just says kilogram when you do that instead of just kg. I wonder what else... Will Brian, like, say all the... Hang on, so if I do... What happens if I go... 100 kg... Alright, what happens... Will it...
2 millimeters, 3 kilometers, 1 meter, 100 grams, 200
Go
kilograms.
suck a lemon.
Oh, that's pretty cool! It actually does the thingamadiggies. You go suck a lemon. But yeah, so I'm sitting at like 120 kilograms, which, I know exactly why I'm at that current weight right now rather than like continually losing weight. Because I have not been able to kick one of the like more egregious habits that I've had ever since I got into university and all that kind of nonsense, is that like I still have a thingamadiggy for like eating out, like McDonald's hamburgers and such like that, and it's really annoying to try because like back when I was in university, it was like practically like once a day I would do an order eaten, which was absolutely terrible. It's down to like once a week right now, but even that is too much. I need to I want to get back into like, not wanting to eat junky food so much, because it's either going to be like once or 3 times a week that I'm going to be ordering in a meal and such like that, and I'd rather not do that. And I can't quelch that by going into, say, into like fasting, because fasting is not like a long-term sort of diet solution. I have to, be able to change parts of myself. Hi there, Kusaki. I have to like be able to make like, changes to like my habits and to like, long-term sort of details. So, and best ways of doing that is just, getting back into, just doing actual cooking and such, even if it's like, just prep meals and like maybe even basic shit, instead of being like, oh, rather than, spend $20 and, 30 minutes on cooking, maybe I should spend $40 and 2 minutes on a fast food meal. It's like, no, Grant, try and be better than that. And it's kind of hard. And the reason why it's hard is because I have the money sometimes, and then I just don't have the time. I want to do the 20+ minute cooking or what have you. How's it going on your side, by the by, Kusaki? You were less... Hang on. I can do a shout out for you. Can't spell Kusaki properly. I was about to type in Kua. You just hopped out of ferality. Oh, that was happening this weekend, wasn't it? You go suck a lemon. That was happening this week, wasn't it? Oh, Jesus. Tempting. I remember looking at it, and they were like, oh, it starts off like Friday to Sunday or something like that. And I was like, I'm in the middle of like work or something like that when they were going to do like their opening thingy-majiggy. And I had like, damn it, I should have like joined in on that thing. That might have actually been fun. Like, getting back into VR nonsense. Like, hang on. What in the world happens in ferality? Like, I have VR. Yeah, I have VR. Like, one time I even did a VR stream on here. What in the world do they... So it's like 30 hours long. I understand it's a VR chat con. Like, they want, like, you know, $10 for, like, the whole thing or something or rather, which, let's be real, isn't... Oh, no, I don't have the money for that. Fuck. Nope, never mind. Can't attend. I completely forgot. I've already spent, like, the last of my nonsense on, oh, God, on food. I spent the last of my nonsense on, let's see, I was paying off, like... God damn it, why am I doing finance in my head right now? Hard to do finance in my head right now when I also have Final Fantasy XIV music blasting off in my ears that you guys can't hear right now. Alright, so, I got paid 2 weeks ago. I had to pay bills. I had to, invest in the CPU thingy-majiggy. And then I had to pay my train tickets. I put it all on, like, a Go card, so then that way it's technically cheaper using the Go card than it is to like, pay with the paper or such. They've introduced recently as well on TransLink that you could, like, tap your credit card or something like that, but I'm not really a whole, you know, fan of that, because I feel like they must be getting you somehow with, like... Because wouldn't it be, like, it can't be as the same cost as it is on the Go card, because I feel like then that the Go card is kind of... fruitless in that point. Like, why the fuck would people spend $5 to get the Go card before you even top anything in it if you can just, you know, tap with a credit card? I feel like there has to be, like, some sort of... So, yeah, so I did that payment thing. I then had to pay for the dentist, and I didn't go to a bulk billing Fuck, I should have gone to a bulk billing dentist, so then that way I wasn't spending $250+ on getting my teeth cleaned. And then I wasted money on, beer because of Kingdom Hearts drinking run, and I was an idiot and I spent even more money. I think I went for McDonald's more times in this fortnight than I really should have. Fuck! Zeebs isn't really good at finance, is basically what I'm coming to the end conclusion that I'm having in my own brain. Even with the assistance of Twitch. It's giving me payment if I have enough people saying, hey, we like you. Alright, I can change scenes. If it will actually, like, change the thingy-majiggy. Bone just doing something real... There we go. So, yeah, so... The last thing I was doing was staring into the void for, like, a full minute before I decided not to play into this game. That was an absolutely terrible... Enter the siren song, and hopefully we get some party members. Damn, that was like a very depressing stream. Oh, hey, it's a cool... Is it an alligator? Yeah, it's a gator. It's a cool gator. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Yeah. Bye. Bye. Beep, beep. I might need to adjust my cameras at some point, because, like... Huh. Yeah, the Avatar doesn't really have the nuances of, like, figuring out what to do anything with my lips. But it does have a little bit of figuring out with the eyebrows, at least. Grants his love, grants his life. Oh, I wish. Oh, I wish, Bone. Oh, I wish. Some people just have their lives, like, more together than other people. So. Although a good part of me is always thinking of, like, oh, you know what? You know what helped me get my life together a little bit more? More money. That's gonna do it. Has anyone else had that thought? Like, you know, you're living through your day-to-day or something like that, and you're like, you know, I don't need any, like, I don't need to do, like, any big changes to, like, my appearance or to, like, you know, my relationships or anything like that. You know what would make my life so much better? Money. Just a bigger pool. Like, give me, like, 70% more income, and then everything works out great. Has anyone had that thought? Same? Okay, cool. Furry Cures has the same thought as me. Thank Christ. I'm not alone in this thought. Cookie for Engrel. Here's your cookie. Cookie gone. Is he hiding? Yes, they're just hiding. Cool. I forget sometimes I can, like, just look into my, like, you know, user list and be like, yes. Are the people that I'm thinking of in here?
Bone
Do I have to
Musky
be
Dog
careful
has
with my
added
words?
quote number 318. Grant is love, grant is life.
Okay, I read that off someone else, I'm sorry to say, Bone. That's not a quote that I'm going to be keeping. Thank you very much. Settings. Quote. Where is it? Here it is. Delete. My god, 317 quotes. Is there really, like, no one forming up to do this kind of thing? Okay, so Mamma Mia over here is most certainly just a, what's-a-mahoozy, another warrior, as far as I can tell. Yes, they are a warrior because of that Marauders thingy-madoog. They look like Odin. Was that, like, intentional? Looking like Odin? Also, what is with their gear? It's a little bit... blah, blah, blah. You just wanted Brian to say it? Well, I got the TTS redeem. Like, that's a thingy-madoogie. You could do it through there. I know mine's not like a cool TTS thingy-madoogie where you can put in like the different parody tags in there so you can have it like, you know, do some fun little like slow down or speed up or pause and pitch and tone and all that. Like Twitch Speaker doesn't yet have those things, but I'm fairly sure, like, a lot of people have been asking the people who make StreamerBot and Twitch Speaker to be like, hey, could you please, like, allow us to have, like, parsity phasing through, like, the TTS? Tits? What the...
Go suck a lemon.
Boobies! You go suck a lemon. Hang on a minute. Is everyone offline just because they... Thank you. Huh. My goodness. Damn it, no one's online. The old woman must be hugged and petted. Damn it. Oh, wait, I have a friends list. Hang on. Friends list. Who the fuck is this? I forget them. Oh, they, like, petted me one time or some shit like that. And then that person is doing, like, I don't know how I'm friends with these people. And no one else is online. I still have no clue who this person is to the end of my days. Which is a little bit
Quote
upsetting.
311. If I ever see them in real life, they are getting a spanking.
Oh, not these people. No, don't worry. It's just one of those fun little moments of like, I have no idea what's going on. Also, how many people are in... Yep, okay. Why is it so difficult to find, like... It's Saturday night! What the hell are Final Fantasy people doing on Saturday night? Oh my god, I've waited 6 minutes. Withdraw. Cookie for Bone. Alright. Ding. Dong. Ding. Alright, who's in my...
Quote 304. Bone, it's great without you here, I don't have to worry about shoot.
Yep. Okay, I kind of want to go sleeping, I'll be real. That's something I would very much be tempted to do. I was just more meaning, like, it's like 6 or 7 p.m. Like, I thought the whole reason I moved my,
Furrycures 1221 paid me to say Grant is the cutest zebra ever. He's so cute the word cute thinks he's cute. His face is cute, his butt is cute. Everything about him is cute. And he is not stupid. For once.
I am incapable of being cute. It's impossible. It is pure fiction. I am absolutely incapable of being cute. Like, look at this. Like, if I do the cute rating to myself. Alright, so Bone Mass has a really high himbo rating. If I wanted to check my... Hang on a sec, I can't... There we go. My cuteness, it's, you know, it's absolutely impossible. Can't happen at all. But, you know, if we check on maybe Furry Cure's cute rating... Look at that! 51%! That's like half their personality already. It's gonna be absolutely fucking fantastic. Lol, only 12% cute. What about Blue? Does Blue still have a really high cute rating? Yes, they do. They are maximum percent cute. Just 100+% cute in Blue, Foxy, Nicey, Icy. Also, hi there, Sir Dragon. Hi there, Angrel. Hope you have some folks. You're gonna lay down for a little. You have the flu, so you're recovering. Not to worry, Angrel. 51% himbo. Nice working. You can't shout out clips of me in here, Blue. You don't know the numbers. Damn it, you do know it.
Pixar on his butt.
Oh, this one. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me zoom in on the butt so you can see what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, see, you miss it at that point there, and then the next best time you have of being able to see it. Unfortunately, because of the clip shout out like format, like how it has like the black and then it fades up to the top, you can't really see it very well because of the whole like, black fading. Thank you for the hyper himbo. I very much appreciate it, Icy.
Just a little bit.
Say we have been taken to some kind of alternate world. That would explain why your lasers read.
2D option will become available in a future
Pixar.
update. Oh, cool. I have to wait for it.
I'm in the
update.
way.
Hold on a sec. Let me just... Look at this.
Is it really that
You can
crazy?
barely see it
Worse
because of
than
the fucking...
evil emperors and...
Totally unfair. To progress through some storm. What? I am going to ask my Discord. There should be like maybe a few people that are part of the Whatsamahoozy Final Fantasy thingamadoog. If they're not, it's going to be real upsetties. I'm just going to be wondering, what the hell? Is there a way for me to, like, see? Hang on a second. Where is... Channel plug. Roll request. Here we go. Alright. So we got the himbo bot there. Is there a way for me to see reporting of groups? Let's have a look. Roles. Alright, there are... Out of the 19 people that are part of the Gamer Squad... There's 11 people that are in my Final Fantasy. Alright, who's there? Iraq, me, Thorin, Jomanki, Code, Urane. Okay, so I got a few people. Although there's no guarantee that they're in the same server I'm in, which is going to be something. Oh, Varys can't join in. It's 2:30 a.m. where Icy is. Damn. Did I cry? I don't remember crying in the Kingdom Hearts story yet. I most certainly haven't cried in the Final Fantasy thingy-majiggy, although I did come close 2 weeks ago when I kind of just had this moment of like, I don't want to play this anymore. My goodness. I probably drank when something dumb happened. Yes, a lot. Well, to be fair, dumb shit happens all the time in Kingdom Hearts. Like, that doesn't really narrow it down for me, Blue. So. I could probably get through a lot more progress in trying to play Magic. You know what? Hang on a second. Magic Arena. Do I have it? Give me a minute. I'm going to download Magic Arena, because my goodness. At least that one takes me, like, no time at all to get into a match. You added some Phyrexian stuff. You told me this yesterday. You told me this last night. I wasn't drunk enough not to remember that. All right, I'm going to install MTG Arena. And I think I've updated my username, so it's like, you know, my VTuber name and not like one of the many pseudonyms I've done, but I'll have a C's once I'm through with all this. Yes, we'll create a desktop thingy diggy, accept and install. All right. That'll take several minutes. Two tanks, and all right, what kind of person is examine? All right, thaumaturgy, which makes him a black mage. Checking updates. You pulled the white Dominus. Oh, you don't need more white cards, Blue. They're fucking powerful in this recent set. Alrighty. I'm glad you guys can't, like, see, you know, all the thingamadiggies I have to press and all this kind of such. Wait, is there a place for me to log in? Because that might help me out to double check. Alright, so Wizards, I log in. And, okay, from the looks of it, it does have my display name, which is very helpful. You're just getting more powerful over there? Yep. FCTS. You think people would, like, clamber in to get into this kind of stuff? Alright, I'm gathering local files. We're having an entire different video game ready to play. This is going to be very silly. I'm going to have to update my thingy-majiggy, like, yes, we're playing Magic Online next. I am going to try and make a new... We're going to try something new. Alright, this rabbit girl is just staring at me. With, like, her fucking, like, bone mask. Ooh, I can do... Does she do anything? No, she doesn't. Alright. I do not 100% remember my password, so I'm going to need to copy that, and then I'm going to need to paste that. Alrighty. You want to see something funny, chat? Alright, and then... It's like... nothing happening. Okay, so that's, like, basically 5 gigs I have to download, so... That's probably going to make the internet just a teensy bit fucky. I'm still waiting for a party. Hey, we have a DPS now. There's now one tank, a DPS, which is most likely going to be this DPS right here. Ding, reduced rate, XP through battle is increased. Ugh. Okay, how quickly am I downloading right now? So if I'm 4.5 gigs, and if we count from... So once it hits 900 megabytes, we're gonna 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, it takes approximately 12 seconds to get 100 megabytes, which means that it's 120 seconds to get a gig, which is 2 minutes a gigabyte, and we need another 3.5, which means 3 times 2, 7 minutes. We'll be up to date with all the recent Magic the Gathering cards in 7 minutes. Why is Siren Song like so shit? Why is this such... It's saying like there's like 11 other parties recruiting right now. Cookie for Timmy! We're right now like trying to go and get into a party for, you know, the Siren Song, but quite frankly, we might just end up playing Magic Arena because that would be a much easier thing to get into a match with, and, you know, I might just be fluffing about for the next hour and a bit. Oh! I'm honestly surprised. Alright, we can leave you running in the background. It's not like I'm having some... You guys aren't having, like, any network issues while I'm having, like, 2 different high-speed network thingy-majiggies going off at the same time, are you? Light party. Alrighty, gotta hit my spiel. Where's my spiel? Okay, so we have some weird-ass jellyfish. Bunny, bunny, cat, tall girl. Hell yeah. Alrighty, so we need to arrive at Spey Rock. There we go. Okay, that should be everyone. Man, it's nice being a tank again. No, I'm playing through it for the first time. I am really far behind in Kingdom Hearts nonsense, so all this is being done, and I just realized that you guys probably can't... you can't hear anything because, you know, I had the game source turned off, but not desktop. Alright, here we go. Jump! Yeah. even like doing the side compression, or is it like just really extra fucking loud right now? Because it looks like it is like just once in a while, like it will hit, like it'll actually like, you know, lower just a bit, but it doesn't look like it's lowering like a lot. Do I have to like redo like my audio ducting perhaps? Because before it used to be like a compressor thing, like once I start talking then it would like, you know, bam. Alright, is that everyone? Yep, cool, alright. Some giant, I don't know whatever the fuck that is. Stun does nothing. Just the gang can't hear me well. Filters, audio ducting. I think that's a 3.5 by 1. That should, like, you know, compress it like just a little bit more, because I just had it like previously at 2:1. So hopefully that should be like a lot better at compression. Let me know. Go. Oh, anything in the thingy-majiggy? Ooh, yes, please. $260 versus. Yep, so it'll be better than my 240 thingy-majig. Here. Oh, it's a ghost ship. Get it out of the way. Oh, cardio. Come on. There we go. Go at your own. Awesome. Definitely have someone that is like, you know. Okay, I'll read on that one though. We got a loot goblin on our party. Skinless skipper? Hate to break it to you, but you have no bones. Wait, you have no skin. So, oh wait, no, that's. Deal with the governor. Alright, is that everyone? Yep, that's everyone. And plunge! I have to be like really focused, right? Nope. Alright, so he's immune to my stunning nonsense. Carving and splitting the... Who was that? That was just... Oh, that was just one of our DPS. Oh, shit. Did it. Excellent work. Alright, so we got... Ooh. Need. And I'll do that. Okay. Hey, I got myself defending. Alright, running corpses. I'm probably making our healer panic right about now. Hopefully, the healer ain't too mad. Who's the healer? Celeste? Cool. Hopefully Celeste isn't too mad. There we go. Read that. And on we go. The stun worked. That's pretty good. Normally it doesn't half the time with a lot of the different enemies. that a flashing light there? And is there a chest anywhere? No, there isn't. Okay, guess we're moving on. Sprint. Oh, it's a flower. It's a really creepy doll flower. What the fuck? Weird. Also, I just realized my head's like probably beep. There we go. Alright, cool, everyone. Ready. Plunge! Oh, God. Alright, so I just need to be careful of that I don't have anything in front or behind me. Okay, can I, like, run off the edge? No, I cannot. Excellent. Oh, shit. Oh, morbid retreat, so... thought that would have killed. Yeah! Woo! Did it! Did it. Alrighty, accommodation. I can only give it to a little thimble. That's okay. Ooh, read on that one, and yeah, I'm gonna read on both of these things. Alright, cool. Got everything I wanted. Ding. Leave the duty, and we get more cutscenes. Let's have a watch. Wait, is there like... Thank the 12! Hang on a second, I need to grab some things. So, I got... 4 and that. There's a new bend. Sorry, because turns out... Thank the 12. Now I can properly read, because, like, magic arena was in front of me telling me that I got all these awards. Alright, what are you gonna tell me, Alpha Nod?
Everything here would appear to be in order.
Oh,
Good.
cool.
Repairs should be completed by the time we return to the Misery, whereupon we shall resume our journey without further delay.
Thank you, Charvelian.
I swear, if I never hear another ghost story, it will be too soon.
Yay! More traveling! Oh my god, this is a really long travel. Beep. 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 Made it! To wherever the fuck that is. Where is that?
I remember the sea, the smell of the salt, and the crash of the waves as we drew closer to Kugane.
It looks pretty cool.
The
Horse!
only port open to outsiders in Hingashi, across the Ruby Sea from Othard, from Doma.
Very strongly Japanese. Just saw the message. Welcome to Kagane. Hi there, Velk. Welcome
All
to the
colours of
stream.
rainbow, all the peoples of
Hopefully
the
you're
world,
doing
all in
alright.
one
Hopefully my
place.
voice is getting through past
I
all
wish
the
you could have seen it.
video game nonsense, because I think my side ducking is a little bit miffy right now. Ooh, I can add a limiter actually. Hang on a second. So if I apply the limiter and I can tell it that the threshold is negative, I'm gonna say the threshold is negative like 9. So then that way it doesn't go like beyond that. That way, let's see, if I have it at full, it's at that, and then if I communicate then it gets like pushed down into the green. Howdy, Urle! Thank you for the hellos. Sounds good so far. How was the battle music for that first dungeon? I was not paying attention to the music, I'm sorry to say, Velk. I am not 100% aware of the beeps and the boops a lot of the time. Congratulations! You now stand in Kugane, the western port of Hingashi. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have a very hard time reading some of these names, chat. Regrettably, the only port in this nation open to foreign trade. Oh, and I do apologize for the unforeseen difficulties which befell us during our journey. Needless to say, your assistance in overcoming them was much appreciated. Yay, I get to have pants. Although I can't wear any of these pants, so I'm just gonna get the Heaven's Eye thing and move on. Are any of my moderators in the chat? No, they're not. Okay, we need to give a shout out over to Velk. Velk streams as well. They normally do like a lot of Final Fantasy stuff. They're really high class in the whole like team-orientated PvE, PvP nonsense. So they're a lot cooler at some of this stuff like I am. Last I saw them, they were playing Dark and Darker, but I think the demo is over now for that one, so no one else can play it. Despite traveling halfway through the world, Alphanod is in no mood to take in the sights. Wow. Glad though I am to have arrived, I would remind you all that we are far from home, with limited resources at our disposal. Duly noted, brother. I shall take care not to enjoy myself. In any event, Doma is our final destination, and our first order of business should be to secure passage there. Alpha Nut just having a little bit of a thinkies. Captain Charvelian, I realize you pledged only to take us as far as Kugane, and I have no desire to change the terms of our agreement. I should, however, be interested to know how you would go about reaching Othard, were you in our position. At the risk of stating the obvious, you're in a port. Surely there is a kind and generous soul here who will aid you for the right price. You could be the first traveler seeking passage to Doma. For the right price. The captain makes a good point. 'Tis like that Urigi and Gosetsu were forced to come here for the self-same reasons we were. They must have found a way to Othard, assuming they are not still in the city. Ere we seek passage, mayhaps we should first seek our friends. For some money. Leave it to me, Alpha Nod. Making friendly inquiries is my specialty. Lest you forget, I got plenty of practice in Ishgard. Captain Charvalian, could you direct us to the nearest tavern? I love these. These are the motions that people apparently make while talking. It's just sort of like, Velk, you yourself are an accomplished PvPer, wouldn't you say? This is how we communicate.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Also, if you're gonna use Blue Foxy Nicey Icy's emotes and what have you, you should really subscribe to Blue Foxy Nicey Icy. They do some fun little. Actually, hang on a sec. Quick shout out. Blue Foxy Nicey Icy. Check out this.
So same thing that happened to me last week.
Look at him. He's sucking a lemon. He's playing Mario Bros. And he's sucking a lemon.
I meant
But that was because of you.
You deleted your own message.
messages now?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Says who's deleted.
Yeah.
You can delete your own messages?
Yeah.
You didn't used to be able to.
No, you couldn't.
Oh, I'm in the clip too. I was there. I didn't notice that. Captain Charvalian, could you direct us to the nearest tavern? Desperate for a drink, are we? You may find one in the large building just beyond the pier. God, imagine trying to do sign language as a VTuber. Like, I wonder how accurately I could do, like, sign language with the leap motion in front of me. Like, would it actually, like, come across, like, really well? Or would it actually be, like, really problematic where I would just have, like, the fingers would just, like, sort of snap together and nonsense? So, like, right now, this is, like, me with my, like, palms together, spread out, together, spread out, together. Although, for some reason, on my hands, it's, like, interesting. It's, like, curved and nonsense, so... Whether your journeys have come to an end or are about to begin, the Shiokaze Hostery is an ideal place to rest, relax, and reflect. Or so they say. And with that, my dear scions, I bid you farewell. As soon as we have replenished our supplies, we must away. Ours was ever a fast-moving business. The spice trade, you mean? But of course! Surely you did not think I traveled halfway around the world and delivered you to your destination solely out of the kindness of my heart. Perish the thought, Captain. Thank you. Wait, perish the thought. Thank you, Captain. May the navigator watch over and keep you. And we do a nice courteous bow. I wonder how you, like, say, like, how would you, like... I feel like in sign language, hello would just be like, you know, you just do a wave and that's it. They wouldn't make sign language that complicated where you'd have to do, like, something else beyond just, like, you know, giving a wave. Like, just... Hi. Right then. To the hostelry. After you... I love how, like, with fucking Lalafells, they're just like, after you. They just, height-wise, they're always below people, so they have to, like, literally lift their arms up and go, like, after you. And after you. Hi, Blue.
By the 12. I thought Ishgard remarkable, but this... We are certainly not in Eorzea anymore.
We're certainly not in Kansas anymore. Fucking got him.
A tavern is a tavern, Alphino, here or anywhere else. Now, if you'll excuse me, it's time to do what I do best.
You're just gonna drink copious amounts of alcohol and, despite your size, somehow not get kidnapped and obtain information. You have the fucking confidence of Black Widow, but the size of Ant-Man.
Oh, 1,000 pardons, my lady.
Who's this?
The Scions of the Seventh Dawn, I presume. I hope your voyage was not too trying.
Who the fuck are you?
And you are?
Yes, please explain.
Ah, yes, of course. Forgive me. Hancock of the East Aldenard Trading Company, at your service. On behalf of Chairman Lolorito, I bid you welcome to Kugani and invite you to take refreshments at our local offices.
Also, I just realized that, like, the sound might be a little bit too much, so I might actually lower this back again. Thank you. Oh, so, let's try this again. Forgive me, Hancock! Where did it come from? Is it coming from, like, the mic, or is it coming from the game? Hang on. Okay, that should not be happening. Hang on a second, hang on a second. Properties. Discord, iTunes, OBS, Plex, StreamerBot, Twitch, Voice Mod, Desktop. Yep, that's correct. It shouldn't be... like... Hancock. Shouldn't be, like, going in via stereo.
Lolorito? I was aware his interests extended beyond the borders of Eorzea, but not so far as Kugane. Regardless, I am disinclined to accept the hospitality of grinning merchants.
Ooh.
Whom we have such a difficult relationship.
Alright, hang on a second. I'm gonna see if I can... Is there, like, other, Oh, I can, okay, I can add Wavelink as... I probably should have added that, like, a lot sooner. And then... Yep. Actually, no, I'll keep Telegram as is. Actually, I can put Telegram into comms, actually. So, Discord. And then we put in... we add Steam into here, and Telegram into here. There we go. Alright, let's see what happens when I hit the... Hancock button. 1 second. Nope, I think it's still going through game capture for whatever fucking reason. It really shouldn't.
My, such naked suspicion.
Naked?
I do hope that business with the Crystal Braves did not rob you of
Sorry,
all faith
the button
in your
is
fellow
right
man.
there. I'm gonna be pressing
Or
it a
do you
lot
really
of
think
times.
the chairman is plotting to drag you into another one of his grand schemes?
What grand schemes? Alright, hang on a second. Actually, I can probably check into settings. So, the input is the mic in on the Go XLR. And then the output is the Wavelink SFX. So it should only really be going into my mic in, unless it's going into the wrong... No, because it's capturing my voice, and then I'm outputting into the SFX. Oh, am I not doing... Hang on a second. Have I fucked up my, I think I fucked up my Elgato settings. Because I have, like, Wavelink for... like the mic and all that kind of nonsense, but and then I have like this for the S. All right, so I have the SFX there. I shouldn't be able to hear my monitor mix. I'm able to hear my SFX. So why can I hear... Hang on a second. So if I mute for me... and then I hit the... Did you guys hear that? I don't think you did. Nope, because it's now going into the NVIDIA output speakers. It's not going into the SFX thingy-majiggy. Wavelink voice chat, Wavelink, nope, nope. Here it is, Wavelink SVX, there we go. Now if I hit the button... Okay, so you don't hear it from there. Oop. I think it is happening in the game capture still for some weird reason, but a part of me doesn't fully understand why that is. Like, because if I go to properties for the game capture, I'm telling it to capture everything except what's in the Discord, the iTunes, the OBS, the Plex, streaming bot, Twitch speaker, the voice mod desktop, which is, you know, that's still correct. Because the sound should be coming from the voice mod desktop, and I'm telling it not to capture that. It's not capturing the VC face. Alright, I'm gonna see what happens. I'm gonna remove the voice mod desktop, and then I'm gonna add it back in again. Hiya, Bubba. It's been a while. It has been a long time. What are you doing here this evening?
I beg your pardon. If you are trying to win my trust, you are failing quite spectacularly.
You have very low self-esteem, though, Alpha Novel.
Oh dear, have I offended you?
Yes. Yes, you did, Hancock.
Once again, I must apologize. Too much time in the Far East, you see. One is compelled to talk in circles round everything here, and one finds oneself longing for the invigoratingly candid speech of the Uldan markets. Though I see now that this was neither the time nor the place to indulge said longing. Might I suggest that we continue this conversation at the company offices? Too many eyes and ears here, you understand. 'Twould be decidedly reckless to say any more.
Cool.
If I may favor you with the invigorating candy you apparently crave, it would be decidedly reckless to follow a man I neither know nor trust. Give me one good reason why we should accept Lord Lolorito's invitation.
I don't know.
Now there's the young diplomat I was told to expect. Very well then, I shall explain. You understand that you are come to a most reclusive and secretive nation, yes? One whose borders are closed to foreign trade save at this single port.
I'm gonna take the wild guess that Lolorito has somehow been able to find a way that despite there's only one port to do trade, Lolorito has somehow made it that they can trade elsewhere through, like, straw.
Then it should come as no surprise that a great many parties have vested interests here. Merchants like myself are a given, of course, but for every one of us, you may be certain there is also an agent of a foreign government.
So, spies. You're talking about spies.
Many notable nations and empires have embassies here, you know, including, of course, the Garlean Empire, with whom you have such a difficult relationship.
Difficult is putting it mildly, but sure. Do go on.
To paraphrase, Kagani is teeming with Imperial spies, one or several of whom could now be listening to our every word.
Most likely are.
Something to that effect, yes. Beneath this veneer of bustling trade, a war for supremacy is being waged between world powers. One might say we were standing on the front lines, just not in public.
I still have my doubts, but he may have a point. I say we accept his invitation for now.
Uh-huh. Hey, I see him. Hang on. Hello. Oh, wait, no, wrong button. Alright, let me just look back there, and then screen lock to hide things, and then I'm in my cups, don't mind me. He's just don't mind the blue drag. Don't mind the blue cat. They're just doing their own thing. Alright, Hancock. And you must be GrantZeebs, slayer of gods, rider of dragons, savior of Ishgard, stealer of pants, if some of the more puzzling rumors are to be believed. I knew it! May I say what an honor and a pleasure it is to make your acquaintance, good sir. I just know you and I are going to get along famously. Now then, without further ado, allow me to escort you to the company offices. This being your first visit to our fair city, I shall make an effort to point out various landmarks along the way. If you would be so good as to follow me. Awesome, we are now following Hancock. Also, I need to double check if, like, there's... No, there's an Arco. Just, like, taking care of their own cups over there. Alright, I need to... Ooh, cool! Wait, how do I get up there? The fuck? Okay, hang on. Because it's pain. Alright. I'm imagining it's just like some really annoying parkour nonsense. Everyone, if I could have your attention, please. You are now standing in Tenkonto. Loosely translated, the name means Spirit of Drifting Souls, which, as some of you may have deducted, makes reference to Aetheryte, which stands over yonder. The design is markedly different from those of Charlalian, yet I trust its function is identical? A diplomat and a scholar, will wonders ever cease? Far Eastern Aetheryte technologies have a long and storied tradition. I assure you, this particular example was constructed by the Onishishu, a collective of skilled craftsmen who guard their ancestral secrets with the utmost secrecy. In short, you will find it no less reliable than its Western counterparts. A tune, if you like. Awesome. Where is it? There it is. I was really effing blind to that thing. It's really cool. Yay! I'm just gonna register this as a... Wait, is it a free? No, I don't have the thing in between. Alright, and then I'm gonna get rid of... Lominsa is like my free return, so I'm gonna actually replace that then. So, and plus, like, you know, anytime I go to, like, my guild, I can just get these, where is it? There it is. I can just get these Maelstrom tickets as well. So, I'm not, like, you know, too far behind. Alright, Hancock, tell me more. They would very much like to continue talking. Awesome. I can get myself a bracelet as well. If we get into a match, I will definitely want Arak's help. Beautiful though it may be, we cannot spend all day staring at the Aetheryte. Come, come, come! Sorry, I just had to do that. Let us move along. The markets are next. I also need to figure out, like, why the sound... Like, maybe I'll just have to have someone else, like, look at my audio setups. As much as I, like, enjoy technology and learning shit, sometimes I just want to, like, throw my PC and my rig to a man and just go, tell me what I need to do. Fix it. Help. Just, like, run over to Wolk and just be like, Wolk, I need you to do some things for my 3D model because I'm too himbo to know how to do it. Make machine work. Make zebra titties cool. Make the shirt, like, more bouncy. Fix this clipping. Help me with this. Make me popular. Make me famous. Make me rich. Just all sorts of demands. Just going off the wazoo. Hancock. We have arrived at the latest shopping district in Kugane. Wait. So in the Kugane district, it's Koganedori. Koganedori. It's cool that it's got, like, the Sharingan on the lantern thingy-majig. Kugane, as you are doubtless unaware, is an ancient Hingan word for gold. So, in this prosperous port where golden fortunes are made, lesser fortunes, or Kogane are earned by the local merchants. It's all quite logical once you learn the language. Now you're speaking my language. Oh, a kindred spirit! What a pleasure it is to meet a young lady who appreciates the value of hard-worn coin. Yes! A gambling addict! Hancock of the East Aldenar Trading Company. You are with clients today? Question mark. Hi there, Masonic. Welcome to the stream. Why, if it isn't Master Kitten. 41%, pretty decent. Pray allow me to introduce to you my esteemed guests, but recently come from distant Eorzea. This kind and generous soul supervises all transactions here in Kogane Dori. Aw, 91% Q. That's fantastic. Ooh, Early Himbo Trek. Let's see what it is. Holy shit, 95%! 95% Himbo! God damn it! Damn! Your sincerity is ever appreciated. As he says, I am Kitten of the Hakuchi clan. 59%, nice going. It is my honor to serve as overseer of these markets. As we receive many foreign visitors in Kogane, we accept all manner of currencies. Rest assured, your Eorzean Guild are welcome here. I invite you to pursue our wares at your leisure. Okay, cool. So long as I don't have to deal with, like, currency exchange in an entirely different country, that would be great. Like, how have we not done, like, a universal currency in, you know, the world? Arms, armor, foodstuff, potables. Here you will find all of them and more. Like, why haven't we done a universal currency? Like, it's not Bitcoin. I can tell you that much. Because the fact of the matter is that anytime you deal with Bitcoin, you're still converting it to your local currency. Doesn't fucking matter. How have we not, like... I'm gonna be real. It's either gonna be the euro... or the US, like, dollar. I feel like one of those two is trying really, really hard to become the international currency. Because half the time when you're on the internet, you're working on one of those two kinds of currencies. No one is doing commissions in Australian dollars. I have not yet met an Australian that has done a commission in Australian dollars. The Australian artists, like, back me up, Australian artists, if you're in the chat right now. When you're doing your, like, you know, commission sheets and you're saying, oh, how much is this, how much is that, you're doing that conversion rating for them. You're saying, ah, it is this much US dollars. A universal currency allows for currency manipulation. Wait, how? How is that kind of currency manipulation already, like, not, how is that not already happening? Like, what's the difference between our currency now, where we have, like, you know, 100+ different currencies to worry about, depending on which country or which region you're purchasing from, versus one currency? That's exactly the problem. What? Ooh, I can attune to this thing. EU and the problem with Greece's debt. Okay, the problem there was that Greece was really extra greedy, and they went into, like, that currency problem there isn't because, you know, the euro was, like, really extra weak in Greece or anything like that. The issue with Greece and their debt is that when Greece joined in on the euro, they put themselves down as sort of a financial powerhouse. So they were like, oh, because we're helping to finance the euro across, you know, all of the European Union, we should be allotted, you know, greater powers in terms of lending and loan power. And so a lot of people in Europe were like, yeah, sure, makes sense. You're Greece. You were like the pinnacle of democracy and currency and what have you like that. You're good for borrowing several $1 billion and making it back in whatever you do in your economy. Unfortunately, Greece has not done very well in that, and now we have this very severe problem where, like, nothing is worth value in Greece, and anyone that's trying to leave Greece would ruin Greece's economy even further, and because they're associated with the EU in that regard, then it's a problem. But again, that's because of fucking I hate debt, quite frankly. And that's like the limit of my education has gone into, like, you know, Greece's problem. Like, rich people borrow too much money, and we now have to deal with the fact that, you know, you can't, like, get debt from rich people correctly. You have to, like, do other shit, because apparently rich people paying their debt is like a really painful thing to do, and it would apparently ruin the economy, because then no one would be, you know, getting loans or anything like that, which apparently like ruins like lending and like the economy, because then everyone is saving money or some shit. Like, it's annoying trying to understand, like, oh, we live in a society where we need to have people in debt. Like, that's apparently like just a way of life. We need to have like several $1 billion in loans existing at one point. Everyone just can't hold on to whatever money they have left and not having anything on the, like, the sheets of like, oh, I owe this person this much. The East Indian Trading Company still needs like £3 billion somehow, despite the fact that the East Indian Trading Company is gone, and yet somehow the UK still needs to pay their debt to the South Sea bubble. Like, how the fuck does this work? Who are we paying our debt to at that point? I say we, but I'm not involved in the UK. I don't have to worry about their, you know, their fucking debt because of going to war with all kinds of different nations and what have you. But apparently, like, their debt was purchased by, like, the South Sea Trading Company, and the South Sea Trading Company, like, based on name alone, was like, oh, they're gonna be like the East Indian Trading Company, which is like trillions of dollars in today's economy. Nope, they were absolutely shit. It was like one ship that could go to one of 3 ports that was heavily taxed and what have you, so they were making basically no money whatsoever. So then there became all these, like, you know, financial and monetary, like, fuckaroonies and gambling and shit. So what happened is, so that the South Sea Company was worth, like, a lot. They were saying it was worth a lot more than what it actually was, and then by the time people realized it wasn't worth shit, there was already too much money that went into it, and the South Sea bubble has no means of paying it off, and so the UK, like, is back to basic on trying to pay off the loans. They repaid their debt by buying out the slave owners a few years ago. Fuck! Why is debt so hard to understand? Some people are like, there's good debt. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean there's good debt? Owning people money should not be a good thing. If we may pause here for a moment. This road leads to Ijingai, the district in which Ijin, or foreigners, are permitted to reside. Would this also be where the foreign embassies are found, including that of a certain empire? Precisely. So you see, it would not be at all unusual to cross paths with one of our Garlean cousins here. With this in mind, I would encourage you to choose your words carefully. We would not want any physical alterations. After all, such spats being strictly forbidden. Thank you for the hyperhimbo, Urone. I greatly appreciate it. The Sekai Sekagu... The Sekisegumi punish breaches of the peace quite severely. I have seen foreigners permanently executed, or exiled, sorry, not executed, permanently exiled for a single violation, though, to be fair, this is not common. More often than not, they are executed on the spot. What? Cut down then and there? You're joking, right? Would that I were, but alas, these samurai are humorless lot. Why, I recall one instance when a foreign merchant in his cups dared lay hands upon a Higan aristocrat in front of a Sekisegumi. The samurai cut him in half with a single stroke. Ugh, I don't even want to think about that. So, as you see, it would behoove you to behave. Failing that, we may be forced to part ways with others, or with one another, or with you with yourselves, in the manner of the late Taliji Adeleji. Oh yeah, that's the guy that was like cut in half by the Iron Bull or something. Oh, how I amuse myself. But we must carry on. I have yet to show you the Garlean Consulate. Yay. Garlean Consulate. Let's go. Maybe we'll get into like a big fight once we're at the Garlean Consulate. Wouldn't that be something? Boom, 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 boom. Bum, 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 bum. Hey, there's Iraq again. This, as you may have surmised, is the consulate of you-know-who. Mark the guards at the gate. Are their uniforms not different from those you have seen in the West? 60%, fairly good. Oh! Thank you for the scan, Alvirus. Festus. I almost thought that said fetus. Were you to travel far and wide, you would find that many such variations exist, often inspired by local designs, all of which goes to show that even a massive empire seeking to rule all of creation is not without its artisans. Excellent. I can now get myself the bracelet. Alright, and the recommended gear... Really? Like... Like, how is this, like, not... Hang on, do I... Oh, that was a bracelet, which is 260, and this is 270. Okay. A building filled with Garleans. Ooh! Aether. Wait, what? I saw you there. Oh, there he is again. Found him. Alrighty. A tuning... Dun, 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 dun. I see you. It's just like enjoying that time on the phone. Fish! Ah, I thought the fish would move. Fishies! Fish! Saw you wondering why level 60 was being recommended. Yeah, it's just because the item level is like... Alrighty. Think. Yep, so I'll go for the Savage Aim next. There. There is oh so much more I could speak of. The soothing waters of the onsen, the ethereal delights of the pleasure district, but you are doubtlessly still wary from your long sea voyage. Let us retire to the company offices. Alrighty. Dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. I wonder when the next quest... Like, I'm expecting, like, another dungeon at some point. If not, then I have to go through, like, some fucking thingy-majiggies for my animated Deathbringer thingy. Yes, Thunderboy. Hancock. At last, we arrive at our destination. May I present to you to our humble offices. We have much to discuss, so I'll refrain from further prattle. Come, come, come! Right this way. Bam, 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 bam! Wait, can you hear me when I do this? Heh, Lalafell.
Our thaumaturgist took great pains to ward these walls against all manner of surveillance. Where business dealings are concerned, we do not compromise on confidentiality.
Ah, yes. Gotta give it to capitalism being, you know, gun-ho on secrecy.
You may avail yourselves of these offices for the duration of your visit. Come and go as you like, and know that you may speak freely here.
Your offer is most generous, but I will not enter into any agreement which would leave us beholden to you or your master.
Valid.
A legitimate concern. Allow me to clarify, then. The chairman bids you consider this as an expression of his heartfelt contrition for the bloody banquet and the unpleasantness which followed.
Yeah, he kind of orchestrated all that nonsense and was part of the syndicate, which is still trying to get a hold over old Daw. Like, still not great.
Never having been one to put stock in words alone, the chairman deems the provision of material aid to be a more appropriate demonstration of his sincerity. By sheer coincidence, your purpose here also happens to coincide with our own interests. That is, assuming you are come to aid the Doman Liberation Front.
What's it to you? I thought you were like...
I will not bother to offer a denial. You have the right of it. To be specific, we are come in search of our Far Eastern allies, Yugiri and Gosetsu, whom we hope to assist in their fight.
The Auri Shinobi and the Rugadan Samurai? Then you will be pleased to know that they have both come to Kugani.
I'm gonna take the wild guess that you've been kind of, roadblocking them and trying to get out until we came along.
Are you sure?
Quite. They came here aboard a company vessel, you see. However, they encountered difficulties securing passage across the Ruby Sea.
The Ruby Sea? Sorry, I've never been any good at geography.
Forgive me.
Blood.
This calls for a map.
You gotta love it when a fantasy genre gives you a map. Are you gonna show us a map, or are you just telling us there's a map right now? Yay, there's a map.
We are here in Kugani, the sole open port of Hingashi, situated on her western coast.
Yeah, okay. We came in from the south, which was, down in the
Doma, meanwhile, is here on the eastern coast of Otherd in Yansha.
Okay, so, and I'm guessing the Ruby Sea is between the two areas.
Therefore, if your friends are to reach Doma, they must first cross the Ruby Sea. Alas, this is easier said than done, as the Ruby Sea does not fall within the dominion of either Hingashi or Doma, being controlled since antiquity by a third party, namely the Confederacy.
Sorry, red flags just popped up in my head when I heard, oh, there's a third party of antiquity called the Confederacy. I'm having, some fucking, eastbound and down, sounds going off in my head when I hear Confederacy. Let's have a look.
Said maritime collective is known for the consummate skill of its sailors, and for demanding that any vessel entering its waters pay a toll referred to as the Ruby Tithe. In exchange, the Confederacy's vast fleet guarantees the safety of those who travel within its territory.
However, we don't exactly have a really good word on that.
Now, as I'm sure you are aware, Garlemald conquered Doma some 25 years past, at which time the Empire saw no value in controlling the Ruby Sea, and thus did they turn a blind eye to the activities
They're all
of the
sailors,
Confederacy.
so it'd be like a series of years from the distance. Also, shout out to Yislith. Shout out to the big muscly lady. Also, does the thingy-majiggy still go off in the background? Yes, it does. Cool. Annoying. Now, oh yeah, he already said all that. So...
The recently appointed acting Imperial Viceroy of Doma had other ideas, however. She has formally condemned the Confederacy and declared that any who recognize their authority shall be branded enemies of the Empire.
Oh, that's a problem.
Bowing to this pressure, Hingashi severed ties with these toll-takers and forbade the payment of the Ruby Tithe, prompting the Confederacy to make it known that any merchants choosing to sail the Ruby Sea would do so at their peril.
Okay, and yet would either one of them, offer a means of being able to travel from, you know, Doma to Higashi? I'm imagining not. So now you guys are just admitted that there's now like a neutrality zone. Also, I'm enjoying Final Fantasy XIV. The amount of political intrigue that is going off in this game is really crazy, and it's really like pumping the political juices in my brain.
No wonder they struggled to secure passage to Doma. What captain would risk such a journey given the circumstances?
Stupid ones, and any that are looking to maybe do backyard dealings with the Confederacy. Because they obviously don't want you making deals with the Confederacy, but then comes the fun little fact of, how the fuck are they gonna know unless you are able to, like, you know, you're gonna get your pass through it. You're still way, way back in A Realm Reborn. You need to get further, Alvirus. I know you're on the free trial, but you need to progress through the main storyline sometimes. Captain Wood was such a... But yeah, yes, this is
your
Stormblood
friends
right
were
now.
not so easily deterred from their course, but I know not whether their persistence bore fruit.
I say we follow in Yugiri and Gosetsu's footsteps and attempt to secure passage to Doma for ourselves. We will need to cross the sea in any case, and we may learn something of their whereabouts in the process.
We're gonna be communicating with the Confederacy, aren't we? We're gonna talk to some fucking Confederacy
And should
people.
we find that they are still in Kugane, we can make the journey together.
In that case, I have some information which may be of use to you. No quid pro quo, I assure you. The chairman was most insistent that I aid you to the best of my ability.
Yes, the zebra is honkin' tonkin' chonkin' tonkas. Honk honk. Look at this muscle. Look at this, like, strength. All right, here we go. Moving on. Just Hancock just giving you a smile. Gives me some real, like, boom. Alrighty, you. Though I am reluctant to take any action whatsoever that could be construed as placing ourselves in Lord Lolorito's debt, we must avail ourselves of what means are available. Our Alamegan allies placed their faith in us, and I do not intend to disappoint them. Yay, I can get the Savage Thingy-Majiggy. Ooh, a gift if I complete this quest. How's it going, Ranger? Alpha Nod is a man with a plan. It would seem inefficient for us all to venture out together in search of information on Yugiri and Gotetsu whereabouts. Agreed? Agreed. We need to cast our net wider, split up, and pursue all available avenues of inquiry. But if we are to coordinate our efforts effectively, we will need to establish a working base of operations. Indeed. Tataru would seem best suited for the task of organizing our supplies and procuring new ones. Yay. Sounds like the song from Deltarune, Don't Forget. Oh, I've never played Deltarune. I've never played any of, like, the Undertale-esque games. While she attends to that, we four can begin our search by questioning the individuals Hancock identified. Alize and I will take those in the southern district of the city, and the two of you can take those in the north. In anticipation of just such an eventuality, I took the liberty of preparing some few sketches of Yugiri and Gosetsu during our voyage. Our boy is just like a little... That is some very detailed sketches. I was not expecting you to have such a good hand in drawing. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this, chat. And this is like a fucking 16-year-old boy's sketch. Look at it! Couldn't you, like, at least lie to us, game developers? Couldn't you have at least, like, just been like, oh, we didn't get, you know, a concept artist to do the work of art. that a 16-year-old was going to do. We just, you know, asked a 16-year-old for 20 bucks on Tumblr to draw this. Instead, they got like a fucking, you know, this. He did put in 1,000 hours. I don't think we were traveling for 1,000 hours, but sure. Wow, Y'shtola warned me that you were a bit of an artist, but these are great. They'll definitely come in handy. Like, here's the other thing, chat. Here's something that we are going to be regularly forgetting. Those pieces of work are done without a Control-Z. There's no erasure marks on there. Where the fuck do you see the erasure marks? It's not there. It's not down there. It's nowhere around here. Where is the eraser marks? Nowhere. None. Zip. None. Oh. That's not good. There we go. Cookie for Urine. Looks like it's you and me, Grant. Let's step outside and talk about where to start. I'm just like shaking my hand as I'm like holding this paper. I'm just like, it's unfair. Why are they artists so good in this game? Thank you for the cookie to help me chill. Unfortunately, I don't actually have cookies for me to eat. They're just metaphorical cookies. But I'm good now. Wow, Alphanaut's sketches are so... I am just so done with Alphanaut right now. I am... oh, so done. I don't know how to put it, but they're very... well, see... oh, I'm gonna have to look at them again, aren't I? You may view Alphanaut's sketch at any time during this quest by using the relevant item in the key items menu. I am not going to do that. Stop making me feel bad, Alphanaut. Wait, view Alphanaut's sketch with Alize. Oh my god. Someone really put in the work with this item, didn't they? Key items. Where the fuck is... oh my god. They just have to show us the fucking thing again. Thank you for the himbo cam, Alvirus. It looks more like them than they do. Honestly, he could have made a living doing this. Ah, sorry. No time for distractions. Why don't we start by visiting Karaku at the it's onsen. Lisp is the onsen. Let's go. Hop. Hop. We're going to the onsen. We're going to the sexy onsen. Jump. 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 Oh, I can repair shit. Hopefully this is the right person. No, this is the incorrect person. Who am I going to repair my shit? Oh!
Hello!
Hello, you the lion boy. Repair everything. How am I enjoying Stormblood? I am enjoying my time. Although I have to be honest with you, I am fucking fuming over this fucking sketch. And the sketch is gone. Thank goodness it doesn't, like, just leave me staring at it. It's just a quick little flash, and there we go. Hi, Code! Hello. We are in Tenkonto. We're in this place. Ooh! Blue check mark. Hello. Frank Water from National Tiles. This weekend is frantically trying to get your attention. I dream of Shirogane. Oh my goodness, is that gonna be a fucking romance quest line? It feels like a romance quest line when they say I dream of something or rather. I feel like that's based off like an actual manga series. Because it's not Kaguya-sama, that's Love is War. It's not I dream of Hatsume Miku. What would the title be? It's not I Dream of Genie. I feel like it's like an actual manga title, not you know, US TV show. You need to get back into this. You do need to get back into this. Ooh, wait, hang on a sec. There's a oh, that person's just jumping.
All right, now we're finally getting stuck.
Hey, look at you. Just in a fucking Roadhog outfit while you're playing a post-apocalyptic game, no big deal.
Yeah, how you like them apples? Now entering Fairview.
Excuse me. You need money to get... Yeah. It's at this point that you turn around and you shout to Alvirus, "You don't pay my sub." It's at this point that whenever I tell Alvirus that they should hurry up and continue going through more of the Final Fantasy main questline storyline, that Alvirus turns around and says to me, "No, you don't pay for my sub." Come one, come all. Burns, cuts, embarrassing rashes. There is naught that the magical waters of Bokasen Hot Springs cannot heal. Ho, what's that you have in your hand? He's like, oh, this? You have it like just on your pants and you just whip out the fucking scroll. He's just like, oh, this? You seek this Aura and this Rogadin, do you? 1,000 apologies, but I cannot help you. It is against our policy to divulge information regarding Patreons past or present. Please, we came all the way from Eorzea to find our friends. We have our reputation to consider, miss. Men and women from all walks of life come here in search of rejuvenation, body and soul. They seek privacy and discretion, and we have ever honored their wishes. Only the Sekisegumi may demand otherwise. I am sorry, but there is naught I can do. I suppose we'll just have to ask someone else then. What about that woman who runs the hostelry? Kotokaze, was it? Lol. I just saw Alvirus's like thingy-majiggy of they're the one that doms. Clever you, Alvirus. But watch as I have a secret technique that can change you into a sub. It is a risky technique, one that very few viewers very much enjoy, and that is the power of advertisement. I will fucking laugh if like... Is there an actual advertisement going off, or is it, like, not done it for me? Nope, it's doing it for me! Got him! I so want to do this. Whenever someone subscribes, I want to be able to, like, just turn around to them and just be like... I just want to, like, go have them, like, you know, I'll zoom in on me, be very thankful for their Twitch sub, and tell them that because of their Twitch sub, they get to gain some subscription emotes that is unique to me, and they do not have to worry about advertisements on my channel, like this one, and then just press the 30-second advertisement button. Fucking gold. That's a dick.
Blue Foxy Nicey Icy has a cool idea for a new rule.
Thank you Icy for the tier 1 gift sub to Alivrius.
Thank you. I very much appreciate it. I don't know why it's telling me that Blue Foxy Icy has a new idea for new rule because there's just one gifted sub, but I appreciate it. You are now a Twitch switch. One day you're a sub, the others you dom. Fantastic. Congratulations, Alvirus. You get to use the fun little emotes emotes and don't have to deal with advertisement. Like this one. It's okay, I'm not gonna do it again. Oh, I had way too much. You go suck a lemon, Blue. Oh my god, it was so funny. I don't think you understand just like how much fun that was. Do it, you coward. You know, as moderators, I'm fairly sure you can, no, only editors have, so broadcasters and editors can do the /ads command, and I'm fairly sure the only other person I've made an editor of my channel is Jason. So if Jason is really compelled to, they could run like a 2-minute advertisement if they wanted to. Welcome, traveler. Can I interest you in some rice wine? Exceptional quality, delivered by the other day. Hey, don't give me those stinky lines. I am a clean Zeebies. Otherwise, Furry Cures is gonna get ideas and is gonna start calling me stinky again.
I've yet to meet one that can outsmart a bullet.
No, Blue, stop it! I gotta kill all the megas with a knife.
I've yet to meet one that can outsmart.
That should have killed all the megas. A shinobi and a samurai, if I may. I would answer your question with some few of my own.
Now you have to reload.
Click, click. Oh, wait. And then... So, hey, no, hang on. So, click to the side to unload the clip. You slot it. You slot in the new one.
Furicures 1221 paid me to say put the gun down.
And then slide to check. And then we're good. I know how to use guns. I haven't gone to a gun range, however, in like decades, though. If I speak of that which you know, Ijin, be not offended. You are familiar with the situation in the land across the Ruby Sea. The doomed rebellion after 2.5 decades of quiet? Hi, Sir Dragon. I see. And are you familiar with the ways of Hingashi? How we elect to stand apart and support no cause but our own? Indifferent and callous, some may call us, but pragmatism is essential if a humble island nation such as ours is to survive. But we are not fools. Complete isolation is impractical, and so Kagane is open to Ijin, and we are equally hospitable to all. Or, if I must speak more plainly, yes, I can help you. But if I do, I must also oblige the ones who seek after you. Are you willing to accept this fair and equitable treatment? Yes. Also, yeah, Blue shouldn't have been spamming those emotes, so... Yeah, Code is correct on, like, you know, would rather not have a singular person, like, spamming emotes. If anyone comes out looking for us, tell them whatever you like. As you wish. The two individuals of whom you speak did indeed come here. They sought passage across the Ruby Sea. Few ships are willing to make the trip at the moment. Nevertheless, I make several introductions on their behalf. That was the extent of our interaction. I will provide you with the names of the captains, if you like. Yes, Blue does provide me with content once in a while, but you could also, you know, provide me with moderation and capturing of moments. You've been a great help, Mistress Kotokaze. I will be sure to come back for that wine sometime. We would welcome your custom, miss. We should question these captains as soon as we can. You take the first 3, I'll take the rest. And we'll meet here when we've finished. Alright? Good luck. Catching moments as a mod actually sucks, does it? Shit. Is it more annoying than like trying to do clips? They don't let you edit the time? Oh, that's annoying. I guess it has to be one of those cases where like someone has to be like quick on the draw, or they're able to like do it off a, you know, a multi-screen computer. So then that way, while other people are moderating, the one mod who's like lucked out and getting the moment is like, yes, okay, I can now do my thing. Where the fuck am I going? Ah. I need to go this ways. And then hang a right at the statue of something or other. Wait, no, hang on. Wait, what? If you're off by 2 seconds, you have a bad 30-second... Wait. So you can't even edit the 30-second moment. You just have to, you know, hope that the moment you capture is the moment. That's shit. That's worse than clipping. At least with clipping, you can, like, edit your 30 to 60-second moment. That can't be right. Something sounds fishy. Alrighty. Ooh! Vintage. Alright, ding. Oh!
No,
Oh!
Blue, stop it!
Thank you, Blue. No! Damn it. I can do this. Oh, I can hear the doubling in the, that should have... There we go. Alright, look out. There we go. Mega will hear about this. Mega will hear the double guns as well. Hang on a second. Was that double gun when I was firing off? Yeah, I need to fix that. For some reason, well, no, I was able to hear it, Blue, the double, like, firing thing. Because the sounds from my... Because I have voice mods, I use the voice mod soundboard, so then that way any sounds that I play will go into the, No, this isn't an issue with redeems or clips. This is an issue I found, like, much sooner. Back when I, like, you know, saw the guy called Hancock, and I noticed every time I hit the... I could see it in my, my audio activity, that I could see that both my microphone mix, which is where the audio effects were piping into because of voice mod, they were also popping up in my game capture. But the problem is I don't 100% know where in the game capture, like, you know, which application is responsible for that particular aggression. Because for all I know, it could just be like an additional voice mod process that's being run when I do the game capture, for all I know. Unless I forgot to add wavelength. Let's see what happens. Wait, can I... Alright, cool. So that's muted the game.
Give me
yeah,
that lyric,
I fixed
boy.
it. I fixed it. I fixed it right away. I just needed to add wavelength into the list of properties of like programs not to audio capture, and I did it. I am so smart. SMRT. SMRT. I should... Oh! Oh! I just realized something. I have an idea! Okay, hang on a second, chat. Alright, hang on a second. Homer... I am so smart. Now, is there a... Hang on. Transparent? I need a transparent variant of the I am so smart. Because, you know, if you look at... this thing. I am so smart. I am so smart. I am so smart. I am so... You know what? I'm gonna just make that my, also close that, and then we go back into this. I'm gonna make that my 100-bit redeem. No, I'm keeping my leg. I'm gonna make that my 100-point bit redeem. Give me a minute. Stream elements. Give me a moment. I'm gonna update my thingy-madoog. Where's my thingy-madigs? Click here, dashboard. Ow! It will be that quick.
Leg, boy.
No. I'm keeping my leg, thank you very much. Kahlua ain't here to steal shit. Kahlua ain't getting my leg. Alright, full screen effects, and then I need to get to the full screen alerts. Also, I need to... Hang on, so...
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Alright, where is... So... Alright, so purple alerts, and then... Also, I need to download my... I need to do, like, a better job in updating, like, what the different bits do, but... Ow. But I have one, like, let me find one that, Alright, so cheer alerts, and then I have all these different variations. The most recent new one I did is for 555 bits. So that's the most recent one. That's the most recent, like, different one I did. I'm gonna make a new one, if it will let me. Settings. It has to be exactly 100. I'm gonna change the video, and it's gonna be a new video. Where are my videos? Videos. 4K capture. Where is the Homer Simpson? Here it is. Homer Simpson's so smart. I am so smart. I am so smart. And then, yep, so we're gonna select the Homer Simpson one, and... Dink, name is a college man now, is so smart. SMRT. Alright, and then hit save on the variation. Oh, I need to also, like, because it's a video for 100 bits, and it's going to be the Homer SMRT. Save. And then I can click and drag this, so then that way it's between the 96 and the 120. So yeah, so let's see if... and then I hit save. And then I think I need to... Where's my thingies? Isn't this fun, chat, when I just decide to, you know, redo things? Alright, where's my full... So that's the play overlay. I want core overlays. Let's see, voice mod, the clippy...
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Thank you. I also like my funny words, Magic Man. Alright, I'm gonna refresh this page. And then I'm gonna double check Homer. It's playing twice because of the overlay there, and then, you know... Oh yeah, it's technically longer, so I need to have this, like, going for longer. Alright, settings. I need to adjust that.
Blue Foxy Nicey Icy thinks you should do 20 squats.
And then I don't need to have the message in there, because I can just say so smart. And then, yep, I need to do my squats. 100% chance. How long is the video? Because I think I need to tell it that it needs to be running for a certain amount of time. Properties, details. So it's a 15-second video. And I have it going on for a maximum 25. So I'm going to say 16 seconds, save the variation, save the thingy-madiggy, and I should be good from then on. All right, now I can do my 20 squats. Also, if anyone wants to, I don't want to hit the tester on this one because I would very much love 555 biddies, but I would love to see someone do that. All right, let me get my squats going. Push that over there. Stretch. Thank you for the traffic cone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, excuse me, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you, Blue, for the 20 squats. You wanted to come play with me, but then you realized you kind of can't since you're so low level at Materia. That's fair enough. That's okay. These things happen. Not very many people are kind of high level in Oceania unless they're like really ramping to go. So I'm in this like weird middle point where either I'm too high level for a lot of peeps in Materia, or I'm too low level for a lot of Materia peeps. Also, hi Fox Macro. Hey, Fox Macro. Do you have 555 bits? You want to use the 555 bits you have? It'd be funny if you did. You ask me if I've seen this Aru woman and this Rogadan samurai. The woman is unknown to me, but the man is not. He was for Doma, but I could not help him. We travel solely between here and Radzadhan. We would not be unreasonable detour. Unreasonable detours. What about 500? No. 500 bits wouldn't work. 555. Yes, a Rogadan gentleman did approach me. He wanted to charter a ship to take him across the Ruby Sea, the mad devil. I sent him away. Like all the others before him, the woman, nay, I know her not. Alrighty, who do I need to talk to next? Hopefully I don't have to, like, go to the other side. Hopefully he's, like, somewhere nearby. Ooh, there's a thingamadiggy there. Fox Macro just giving me an unsettled look right now of concern. They're like, what the fuck what am I doing with 555 bits? What's gonna happen to the channel? Don't worry, it's just a video. People who have alt characters scare me. People with alt characters can easily do it thanks to, like, you know, the free trial and what have you. But yeah, there are some of them that are really crazy high numbers. I think Savage is one of those many people who have way too many alts. Why not ask Code? Because Code is a busy man. Code is one of my moderators, and they have better things to do. Alrighty then, little lady. Nope, you play fucking Chaos. No thanks. You are not gonna be fun whatsoever. And plus they're broke. That's it right there. Yep. Also, look at my little Tanuki. Look at the little Tanuki in the corner there. Yoshi is broke. But yeah, you know what would be really cool? If you help support Code the Yoshi. You should go check them out. They're really cool. They stream a lot more often than me, I should add as well. A lot of the time, to be fair, most recently. And they might, you know, be in a better time zone for some of you. So yeah. Go support your fellow Yoshi. Mario has ruined their home. Hopefully. The person I need to talk to is somewhere around here, question mark? No. Oh, yep, they are. The Meticulous Merchant. Alrighty then, Meticulous Merchant. You have a very Yakuza vibe on you. Passengers? No, we no longer offer that service. Too much trouble. Now we have only transport goods. I told this to the samurai and sent him on his way. The women? Pah! If it is a woman you seek, the pleasure houses have plenty. Wrong server. You're in Zervon's. Yep, sorry. Wrong server. I have my own Discord server, however. Dink! I highly recommend it in terms of... Oh, I forgot to share the red panda images my mom has shared with me. Actually, it's on my Twitters, though, as well. My mom, she works at, like, a vet nurse clinic, so a lot of the time she gets, like, you know, she gets, like, pets and such, but sometimes she gets animals like, red pandas. Yes. She's gotten a red panda one time. That was actually just a few nights ago as well. Granted, she's not getting them in, like, the best of circumstances, because, you know, she's a vet nurse. Have I finished updating Arena? Yes, I have. Hold on a sec. I need to hand in a quest. Ow. Liss. Oh, never mind. Judging from the look on your face, you didn't have much luck that I did. Yay, we get ourselves the fucking sketch. Gauntlets and the Savage Aim. I am most likely gonna go for the Savage Aim thingy-madoog. Bowels of Ender, bonus XP, and plus they have too much gil on me, so you can give some of that. I appreciate the offer. What I would like is maybe a little bit of a run in Amdapur Keep. There was someone on my list I forgot to visit. Gyodo. He's a Namazu fisherman, whatever that means, and a regular here. Maybe we'll find him if we look around. Excellent. All right, hang on a second. P. Nope. Tilde. Nope. How is the friends list not just a fucking, like, quick button press? There you are. Invite to party. Lol, Alvira's level 27. Lol, imagine... Back from rest and with dinner. Hope all's been going great. All has been going great. Look at him. Look at him. Hang on. Let's see if they've done their... Look at him. Look at a cat boy. Yes, invite this... Look, Alvirus. I'm a sapling too, technically. According to Velk, like, if he looks at either one of our profiles, we are both saplings. We are equally as shit right now. Yay! Lou the Lion Boyo, would you like to join? Also, it's food time for Code the Yoshi. Looking to meld materia. Player search. Search conditions. Name. You both are Skullcap fodder. I would like to think we're better than Skullcap Fodler, to be honest with you, but I don't run Skullclamp. You're just here playing Commander. I could be playing Commander, but I also want to do this. Alright, hang on a sec. Amdapur thingy-madiggy. Am I currently wielding... Yep, I'm wielding the thingy-madiggy. I clear my selection. I change the thingy-madiggy to an unrestricted party, so then that way we're not fucking around. And then... Yep, Amdapur keep hard. Nope. Am I still in a Realm Reborn with this nonsense? Oh my goodness. Where is it? Ambabor Keep. There we go. You just joined the Twid Alerts because meh. Fair enough. Bink. This gonna be good. We just run. We're just gonna, like, run real fucking fast. Here we go. Cool, I still have my grit. Why not keep the home turf? Fair enough. I won't stop you. Hey, there they are. Alright. Alrighty, let's go for a run. Alright, throw the thingy-majiggies. Throw the thingy-majiggies. Throw the thingy-majiggies. Oh yeah, Iraq is like level 90. These are A-okay problems. Open the chest because, let's be honest, it's always fun having some... Oh, shit. Roll need. Because apparently I need a luck out. Here we go. Sprint! Thank you for the hyper himbo Ingroll. I greatly appreciate it. Even as a fucking scholar, Iraq is just sort of like, yep, dead. Dead. Chest. Read. Read. Oh, I can't sprint. This would be fun as a DPS. I'm catching up! Oh, that's why you waited to hear. Alright, here we go. Plunge! Yay, we did it. Oh, I forgot the treasure coffer. If knowledge is power, you're a fucking library. Are you now? How many crystals are you holding on to right now? You're holding on to a lot of crystals right now, aren't you? Currently 5. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna be real, I thought you were holding on to like 7. Crack just like pointing and killing them. Just points at them and goes, simp. Treasure coffer. Click. There we go. Hey, healing. That is totally up Iraq's. Wait, can we go this way? Okay, I think we can go this way. Awesome. You need bits to unlock slots emoted for goals. No, I just wanted to have a funny video play that would play when you donated 555 bits. That's the only reason. There we go. Ow. I null. Welcome to the stream. Alright, and then into the Aether Flow. Hi. And then... Do I touch the orb? I'm trying to remember if I touch the orb. I think I touched the orb. Ooh, big lady. Oh, big lady dead. Hey! No, I need my shirt. I am fighting forces of darkness right now. Interact just like another Aether Flow. This is the advantage of needing to go through, like, what's-a-mahoozy, relic grind, but you have a buddy that's level 90. They understand, even though very much they are just, you know, babysitting you through this thing. I very much appreciate that you're doing this, Iraq, by the by. I do not take this as negative for anyone to heat. But you understand the pain of doing, like, relic fights and what have you. You understand, like, there's a slight annoyance to trying to do relic shit. Oh, he's immune to this shit. Okay, yeah, never mind. El Moldsy Cope. Alright, now. Yay! And you get a card, too. Agreed. Dun, 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 dun. Yes, as Velk says, it is hell. I was able to get through the Realm Reborn. Sorry, not the Realm. Yes, the Realm Reborn. No! I forgot I was sent here. I forgot this was like one of the many missions I just grabbed and it was like, yeah, like, you know, I already did this once apparently. No, I fucking didn't. I am sent all the way back to Gridania. I'm back in the forest. Ah! Ah! I'm so mad. I'm such an idiot. I do this. Ow.
Fox Macro paid me to say
Thank you
happy
for the
GrantZeebs.
150 bits. I really appreciate it. Did I have something unique for the 150 bits, or is that in the catch-all for the one of anything over 196? Give me a minute. Because I have like a number of videos. I should basically reveal now, like, the videos that happen. Actually, can I even, hang on, cheer? Oh, I can't cheer in my own channel. That's annoying. Lives there, basically. How is the anima? Still no change? Yeah, still no change. I just caught back onto your mission because I completely forgot I have to do a blue tick mission to get these things. I cannot really care what you are saying. I'm going to do the cardinal sin of skipping the dialogue. Look at me. Look at me. A lot of people did a lot of work on this. Maybe if you stopped and read it, you might actually like the story. Maybe you should do that next time. Okay, you have a good time. Look at me. Look at me. All right, how many videos do I have as like cheer alerts? That's completely valid and fair. Like, I understand it totally for like the main quest line. Excuse me. Or when you do, say, hang on a second. Let me open up my journal. Oh, what? Ow. Wait. Something's not right. I got fucking... So yeah, can't do that one. Missions like this, the last pillar to fall, or to rule the skies, or the corral in the closet. When it's like multiple blue thingy-madiggies, then you like, you know, get the thingy-madig. Also, thank you for triggering the flashbang, Fox Macro. Why in the world is my... There it is. What happens if... No, no. Oh, fuck, that's not real. That happens on my screen. Like, that HUD FX stuff, like, it doesn't just happen as, like, as a thingy-madiggy on the stream thingy-madiggy. Because I noticed, because, like, with the flashbang, I was like, oh, why didn't that happen? And then I realized HUD FX isn't running right now. I need to add that into, like, the list of applications I have to run. But basically, if I'm in the middle of a game or something like that, HUD FX will still play it on the very screen I am looking at. I'm half expecting fucking Moist Critical to pop up right now. Oh, look, there's a rack. Yay! Thank you for the trip back. Fox Macro just chuckling to themselves like a real gremlin energies right there. Just, was that me? Did I try scaring the GrantZeebs? Did I try being funny? Alright, where's the fucking... What's my whoozy fellow? Oh, I gotta go up a floor? Alright, we're going up a floor. Equip the animated Death Eater and enter Dusk Vigil is the next one. Alright, I'm gonna click on... this mission. Talk to... That's just a carp fish. Cookie for Timmy! Hope you're having a good time, Timmy. Thank you for the head pats. What up? What up? What do you... Why do you stare? You have business with me? By the 12, a talking fish! Yes, yes, a talking fish. How very observant of you, Ijin! You find me in good spirits, so your rudeness I will ignore this once. But only if you address me again in the proper manner. Sorry, I've never met a... Let's start again. You're Gyodo?
Give me that leg, boy.
No, I'm keeping my leg. You're Gyodo, right? My name is Liz, and this is Grant. Hi, I'm Grant. We're looking for some friends of ours. Just gives him a giant fucking scroll, no big deal. I see. Both these ones I know well. Hang on, I also need to double check. Hang on, how much? 150 bits. Okay, cool. So, I see. Both those ones I know well. I helped them secure passage across the Ruby Sea. Really? That's wonderful! Could you do the same for us? Yes, that would not be a problem. For you, I could charter a ship this very day. But the journey is fraught with much peril. The fare will not be cheap. Are you sure you can afford to pay? I have literally no money on me. My bank account is empty. I don't think to bring any money, but surely Tataru will let us take whatever we need from the Scion's coffers, right? Yes. We wouldn't be the only passengers, though. Could we take a moment to talk it over with our friends? Yes, but hurry. Your ship must depart under cover of darkness. We shall meet again at sunset at the Kasogare Bridge. Do not forget your fare. Bring many gil, yes? Yay, you're in Ravana now! Congrats, you're in Ravana. Also, what is this one? 120 bits. What does this do? I forgot it did that one. Ba-ba-ba-ba-boom. Ba-ba-boom. Clever. Alrighty. It's about time our luck changed. Alpha Nod and the others will be thrilled. Over at Ulda's Crystal if you wanted to meet and I can give you something. Neat! Ulda is gonna be expensive. One moment. Jump!
Pull the lever.
Do not pull the lever. And you pulled the lever anyway, didn't you, Noel? Alright, hang on. Map. Banalin. Ulda. You're talking about this thingy? Jesus fucking Christ! You want me traveling for 1,300 gil? Jesus. You better pay me. I better get monies for this nonsense. And then I'll invite you into the party and we'll do a dusk vigil. Dink. Where are they? Alright, so we got Makoto, and then we got Lemon Drop, and then... Oh, it is Lemon Drop. Hi. I shall give you... No. Hang on. Can I split one? There we go. One Gristle Green. This just makes it so then that way my Gristle Greens are just like, you know, just an established, like, one thingy-majiggy. What level are you, actually? Hang on a second. 35. Oh. Oh, damn it. I could have, like... Knowing my luck, I could have ended up doing... Oh, wait. That's toughening up, which is Dusk Vigil. What level is Dusk Vigil? Amador... Ah, yay! We exit out of all the, Realm Reborn nonsense, and we now enter Dusk Vigil. Level 51. Yay! Main scenario, dungeon trial, duty roulette, roleplay. Just a cute bun. Just a cute bun. Examine. 35 rogue. No, not that. Like, thingy-diggy. Error! Hi, Urine! Oh, is there a way for me to, like, figure out if you have, like, other classes? Hang on a second. If I go examine, I can't, like, see your other classes, so I have, like, no clue if you've ever been, like, any other kinds of things. Yeah. I'm currently doing, like, if you friend me, you can. Ah, okay. Send friend request. Yeah, excuse me. Alright, and then social, and then friend list. So I can see Lemon. Use search info. 3513. Okay. Yay, you're Marauder, which means you're gonna be Warrior when you finally get through to it. Alright, so Null got 51% Q, good for them. Urine got 68, a real cutie patootie. And Alvira's got a lower himbo rating than they did their thingy-majiggy. Character search function in the window. Awesome! Unfortunately, the mission I'm about to go into is a level 60 kind of nonsense. Is it? Wait, hang on. Level 60? Level 51 kind of nonsense. You are probably going to have a very big problem when we go in there, I'm sorry to say. I will absolutely laugh if somehow this game, if this mission, because I've done this mission dozens of times already. If this mission puts me back in the Corinthian Highlands, I know this game is going to be sus. Because the fact of the matter is that I have already done this, like, half a dozen times. Because anytime I go through, like, the leveling or the main questline duty roulette, this is the one they send me to. Oh yeah, we can just ignore shit. We can just run. Oh wait, no, we can't run. We have to... There we go. And then the snow is gonna blow up here. No. I misinterpreted that. Right in there. Running away. You have a character over at Primal Famfrit with Endwalker completed. You made a character to be different. Not to worry. So, a lot of the time when people make ults as well, the ults are kind of made more as a means of being able to get to, like, friends on other servers, not as a, you know, as a way of getting into, like, you know, different taxi modes. Jump, jump, jump. This is my only character. They used to be somewhere, I think they were either in, they were in Gaia, I think, or one of the North American data, they were in a North American data center. I think Primal might have actually been where they were in, but then, oh, wait, hang on, do I need to, yeah, they're grabbing it right now. So I used to be in, like, Primal, I think, or something or other, but then there was the announcement of the Oceanosert data center. And so I was like, alrighty, I'm gonna move over to that. So then that way I'm in, like, Oceania with, you know, like-minded. So then that way I was in the same time zone as a lot of other different peeps. Going to a preferred world would get you 1 million gold once your character reaches the level 30. Ah! I knew that the preferred world gave you, like, a little bonus thing, but I didn't realize it was, like, 1 million gil. Because that's basically a house, isn't it? That's basically you're able to invest in a home in, like, the world or what have you. And they're gonna... Yep. Treasure buffer over there. Go. Ah, perhaps there's a key, which means I have to There we go. Barracks key. Got it. 3 million for a small. God damn it, that's expensive. Well, thank Christ I'm saving. Small house is still 3.2 million. God damn it. Can't have shit in this economy in post 2020. Bus fares, like train fares have been going up. I used to remember a time when, like, when I wanted to go on the train to get to work, back when I was on a go-kart, so basically the thingamadiggy, you know, that Queensland uses for the whole, you know, whatever bus or train you go on to, you can tap this card and what have you before they did the credit card thingamadiggy. That used to cost me, like, when I was in university, it was under $2 to be able to get into, to go from, like, you know, south of the city into, like an Opal card? Yes, like an Opal card, but this is just for, Queensland. So the TransLink card is very much like that. Yep, that was quick. Now, like, it used to be like if I was in university going from south of the city to in the city, it was like less than $2. Now it's costing me $4.30 to get from south of the city to the city. Like, why did it get so... And, like, some people are like, oh, but if you do your trip, like, 8 times in the 1 week, then it's half off for the rest of it. Yeah, cool. You're still talking about 8 trips of at least $4. That's still $32 a week before you get into half-price tickets. It's absolutely disrespectful. Like, I know this would sound really dumb, but how hasn't TransLink, like, I feel like public transport could get away with this a lot better than Netflix, but what if you did, like, this overpriced subscription, like, card thing, where instead of it being oh, it costs this much per ticket or whatever like that, like, transport-wise, you instead get, you know, a card that's like, oh, you pay, you know, this much a month, which equates to approximately, you know, maybe 5 trips a week kind of thing, going from, like, only within one zone within the city or something like that. But you have that as, like, the, you know, you tap the card and, you know, that's your trip. It doesn't say how much it costs or what have you because it's on the subscription-based card. Like, that would be cool. I would most certainly go into that, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I do a lot more than, like, you know, 5 trips a week. I want to, like, and this is my best option, unless I want to, like, spend 30 minutes in a car a day. Or actually, no, I'm probably spending more than 30 minutes in a car. Hang on a second. 40 minutes a day in a car. Do I need a bicycle? A bicycle is not great in Brisbane because, fun fact, there are hills, and they don't go through them. They go over them. It's absolutely terrible. And plus, it doesn't help that there's always a hill I have to deal with. Yay, I'm back here. Awesome. Yay! And then I can do the Nidhogg thingy-ma-dude. You used to drive into work because the early bird parking was like $8. Now it's 18 a day, so you train it. Yeah, exactly. Like, like, 2 things need to happen. Number 1, we need to make housing, like, less expensive, and the only way you can do that is by being able to branch out the public transport system to beyond the normal, like, channels. And number 2, we need to make public transport cheaper by being able to invest in it and make more sustainable options instead of having everyone go into cars. But the more people we have going into cars, the more expensive public transport will have to be, because we're going to have all this infrastructure made for vehicles and carpooling instead of public transport. Have I been doing gathering or crafting? I prioritize...
Maska Dog thinks you should do 20 squats.
I have been prioritizing the gathering before the crafting, personally. That's how I've done it. I do not remember this place. Sponge. Three. Dun, 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 dun. Yay. So you have somewhat of an easier time sooner than later. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Because as well, when you do levies for gathering are a little more annoying to do than levies for crafting. Because when you do levies for gathering, you have to basically go through like a series of tasks within the levy. So trying to like do multiples at once isn't like the way it's gonna work. You can accept multiple, but you can't do multiple at the same time normally. Oop. So what you have to do is you have to accept multiples, and then you go to like one each at a time. Whereas with something like crafting, when you finally get into it, you can accept multiples, do the crafting, and with luck, you have one person that holds onto 4 of the levies, and you just hand them to them one at a time. Wait, what? What do you mean I have to craft and gather things in my levy? In my art relic. What? What do you mean I have to craft or gather? Ooh, treasure coffer. Oh, okay, so we're meant to deal with these. And then... Dang. I need to remember to do the squats once I'm out of this.
Go suck a lemon.
You go suck a lemon. Ow.
Give me that leg, boy.
Nope, you ain't getting my leg. Damn. Thank you for the quack, Lou. I can do them now? Nah. We're running. We're trying to clock this nonsense. Ooh, a dinosaur. There's a follow command I can do. Oh, actually, that would probably help. Okay, hang on a sec. Let me go through the thingy-majiggy, and then I'll do the follow. I wonder, can I do the squats and follow at the same time? Hang on a sec. Let me try it. So squats, follow, squats, All right, I am now following Iraq. Let's see if I can do the squats while you move. This will be funny. Damn it. Nah, it doesn't. That's okay. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats, Bone. Oh, it's fire and ice. Oh wait, I can do things now. At certain parts, you need to stop and grind for a ton of poetics. A grand total of 6,000 poetics for one part. More crafting and buying of the items from grand companies. Oh, I remember that from A Realm Reborn. It wasn't as terrible. It wasn't as terrible, like, when I did it for that one. Because I was able to gather everything in, like, one go, basically. And plus, gathering all this stuff as well, I can just hand it into my grand company and get company seals for it. So this ain't gonna be too hard. Lol, I've almost completed the Dungeon Master. Hey, look, it's the, what's-a-mahoozy fellas. I totally forgot this was like a main questline thingy. Read it. Read it. And then we leave the thingy-majiggy. Yay! And then the next thing is the Airy. Is that... Wait, how many more of those do I have to do? Hang on. So, Heaven's Ward, Relic, Anima Weapons. There we go. Sorry, I just need to double check the, And this is for the... No, wait, hang on. We've technically already done the animated weapons because I was able to hand in my Realm Reborn Warhammer, or sorry, my warrior weapon in order to get the animated Dark Knight weapon. So we're on to the next bit, actually. So we're now on to Awoken, which requires us... Snowcloak, Sasera, Sunken Thingy, the Wanderers, Amor, Dusk, Somal, the Airy, and then the Vault. Okay, so there's only 2 more to go. Easy enough. And then once the Awoken is done, then there will be 2 intermissions in which you talk to an NPC after completing all dungeons, turn in the quest, and you upgrade your weapons. Awesome! Hey, he's back to cool samurai. Let's go. Yes, I'm going faster. Look at me go. Look at the speed. Speed. Throw it. Throw it. Oh, damn, he's got a lot of bugs going on. Yeah. Here. Okay, I gotta remember I can use my plunge to run ahead. I just need to aim at the right thing. Nope! Yeah! I was able to... Yeah. Fast as fuck. I wonder if Iraq has in the back of their mind now just the Keemstar going, I'm fast as fuck, boy. Just running with their katana, like, trailing behind them, just being like, yeah, running. And then we have to deal with this, like, giant worm. Yay! Sprint. Jump. Slide. That would have been funny if I somehow died on that. A terrible dragon appears before you. Oh, that terrible dragon? Give me a second. Punch. Go. Oh, dang. I'm still ahead, technically, just a tiny bit. Look at me. Oh, now damn it. He leapt forward.
Smelly himbo GrantZeebs says what?
Don't say it. You don't need to say it. Code can't force you. You are your own himbo. You won't get tricked. I am composed. I do this thing with
Grant?
Yes. Uh-huh. You got something you want me to say? 81% cute, and you got a cool little wolf mask on you. How cool. I know a few people that have those. Normally they have ones as well that kind of go over the top of the head as well. So it's interesting that you got one that's just like, you know, a muzzle. Man, Code thought they could trick me, but oh, did I show them? Did I prove them what's what? No, you... Blue. Hang on, Blue.
Furry Cures 1221 paid me to say Stinky says no.
You know, if you replace the T with a W in that, you get a question.
Fact. I just need to... Lulu, I just need to really quickly say it. I am in the furry community. I know exactly what that mask is. No one here is going to be surprised by that mask. That it's the same sort of thing as like sipping a cup that says Bad Dragon on it. We know exactly what the brand is. We don't say it out loud, but we know what it is. No, that's okay, Velk. Velk, you're just a token viewer. You don't have to know it. Yay, breathe. You meant the oh, okay. So like, so it wasn't like to be like a, oh, that's, I'm sorry, Grant, but that's not a mask for, you know, social distancing. That's a mask. I thought you were meaning like that. I thought you were thinking I was thinking that that was like a social distancing mask, not, you know, that it's a muzzle. Half hood, radio. Oh yeah, because you were wearing glasses in there. So, makes sense. Because, like, contact lenses are, like, painful to wear, aren't they? Especially if you have, like, you want to wear them for, like, long periods. Yeah, we're killing all the dragons. Sprint! Lol, you can always see up his, dress. Time to take on Nidhogg. Plunge! Fuck you, Nidhogg! Oh, cool. What in the world? What did I get? So I got Skigoid and a... What is it? No, not Skigoid. Try on. Okay, it kind of looks cool. Okay, it doesn't have any, like, visual effects when I do it then, though. Hello, Lemon Drop. Oh, cool, Lemon Drop has glasses on. You're back from an ad. Welcome back. What were we talking about? We were talking about hoods. Mind if you DM me very quickly? If you have... I should be reachable within the Discord DMs. You don't have to be a friend to be able to reach me out with that, because most moderators normally have their DMs open so that if you're in the same server as them...
I have glasses and you don't say anything nice.
code. My brother in Christ. You have Jason. Jason says nice things to you. If you want to hear nice things, you go to Jason. You go to them and you say, Jason, would you still
They
love
also
me if
were
I was a
talking to me.
Yoshi? They were all... Jason, would you still love me if I was a Yoshi? Have you ever gone up to them and said that? It's like, Jason, would you still love me if I was a Yoshi? Hello there, Blue. You really want me to play Magic Arena shortly, don't you? I'll most likely have to play a Magic Arena with Blue shortly, otherwise they're going to be upset that I couldn't. Oh my goodness, I'm lagging. There we go. You're just upgrading all your stuff again. Stop putting Phyrexian shit in there! Your deck is fine. This is why people don't want to play with you in Commander. You're too good. Hey! Why you gotta de-himbo me like that? For the glory of Phyrexia. No!
Yes, let's play so I can wipe the floor with you with my goblin horde.
Excellent. Alrighty then. There will need to be an organization to time a Commander game. Because the way I play Commander games with like people in either Australia or the US is I use Tabletop Simulator to play it. Because you can't actually play Commander in Magic Arena. You can play Brawl technically, but that's not the same as Commander. So the easy way to get around that point is, you know, you just play on Tabletop Sim with a custom deck. Because custom decks can, oh, I missed out on Treasure Copper. Okay. Custom decks allow you to send in cards with a custom front, custom back, name, and description and what have you. Which, conveniently, when dealing with Magic the Gathering cards, are just cards with a custom front, custom back, and a custom name and descriptor. Easy. I love it. Now I need to catch up to this fucking Reaper. Meow. 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 Bing. There we go. Those 2Ks were burning a hole in your pocket. You could put the 2Ks into other things. Crystalline Conflict is also fun. I kind of wish you could do like Crystalline Conflict with like a full team, but I imagine if you do it with a full team, like the combat difficulty ramps up a lot faster because you then have to deal with, you know, either 5 randoms or 5 well-coordinated randoms, and that's a lot.
I'll cut you to pieces! I will not yield to you!
I'll cut you to pieces. I will not yield to you.
I have the power!
There we go. Dun, dun, dun.
He-Man.
He-Man. Through the power of Grayskull. Sprint. I have to somehow outrun. Damn it. I'm not gonna outrun Raka. Dink. There we go. Yes, no. Urane had to make me Twinkie. They had to make me tiny. Because apparently some people like seeing, you know, thin Twinkie people. Somehow. That's just apparently seen as, like, you know, the better option. People can like what they want, so. There we go. Alright. I remember in the storyline, we had to take on the Pope. What does my butt look like in this image? Nothing's changed on the top half, actually. Like, maybe if I had, like, a completely different model with, like, more customizable sliders, there would be like a lot crazier nonsense involved with like, you know, what happens when I get extra himboed and de-himboed. But, you know.
And now the final cut.
Oh my god, we don't.
This shall be a mercy. You disgust me.
There we go. The new set is out on Arena. Yes, I saw that as well. Cool. Read on that one. Never mind, I just forgot. Yay, we have now finished, like, all the things I need to do in the, what's-a-mahoozy thingy-ma-diggy. Oh! She's the relic thingy-ma-diggy. That's why I'm still getting hit with these things. There you are. I'm glad to see you are unhurt. At least we're in Ishgard. Pray forgive me. While waiting here, my eyes could not help but be drawn to the architecture. Breathtaking, is it not? Ahem. Back to the matter at hand. How fare the anima weapon? Surely by now it has shown some hint of life. Why is... Oh! Oh, Urine. 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 Hang on. Hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on, hang on. You joke about this. You joke about the everyone is mean to me thing, but I'm gonna be real with you. I did the meme. Hang on, can I use this meme? Give me a minute. I need to double check it. Because, you know, the meme is so funny, but I also have to be careful because the meme was oh so funny. I also put it in the not safe for work thingy-ma-diggy, and it was technically seen as like a little bit of nudity. Here it is! Everyone is so mean to me. Everyone is so mean to me. It's not fair. Actually, hang on a sec. Hang on. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna reset the transform.
My day be so fine. Then boom. Morning.
I'm gonna, hang on a sec. I'm just gonna move this here, and then I'm gonna turn on the free camera. Whoop, wrong thingy-ma-diggy. And then, there's my VTuber Plus, and then I'm gonna be like... Everyone is so mean to me! Ah! There we go. Hang on. Does it work if I, zoom in as well? That's the other question. Ow.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down, never gonna run around and...
Everyone is so mean to me! What? Oh, no! See? Do you see, chat, how mean everyone is to me? Everyone is just so mean to me. Look at me as a tiny zebra. Man, isn't this funny? Just being a fucking tiny zebra. Maybe this will be like my new position. The Materia took on a corporeal form? Then it is quickened. Geralt must hear of this. I will return to Az's Law and relay to him the good news. When you are rested, meet with us there.
Freezing my nuts off!
You thought the nut alert was gonna say nut? Nah, there is a small chance that you're gonna get rickrolled. Because before, everyone was hitting the nut button very, very often. And I was like, you know what? Let's have the small chance of a rickroll. Hey, it's a thingy. Whatever that thingy-ma-diggy is.
I'm freezing my nuts off!
Up. There he is as the paladin with the sword and shield, baby! But none of that matters because you got to be the sword and shield, baby! Try to get past this guard of holiness, bitch! Sword and shield, baby! Look at this. Wait. Hang on a second. I have an idea. I need glamour plate. All right, give me a second. Apply. I have an idea. You need to keep that pose on, however. Alrighty, and then can I hide this? I need. Oh wait, no, I can do that in the G pose. All right, so I'm gonna focus on you. G pose, and you're gonna do like a. You're gonna do like your. Hang on a second. So I need to. Wait, why is it not? Okay, hang on. I need to fix that. All right, so if I move here, and then I look at you, and then let's see. Focus target. There we go. And then G pose. Give it 90 seconds. All right, cool. And then I need to do. It's not a movement thing. I need an emote. Emotes. So open emote list. There we go. Here we go. Hopefully, will it loop through the thingy-majiggy? Yes, it will. Okay, awesome. I have an idea for a. All right, here we go. I just have the idea of, like, you know, just having like this, you know, super. It's just like femboys, my Discord moderator or something. Hang on a sec, I need to hide the sword. Where can I turn things off? Alright, get rid of the minions, the NPCs, the pets. Bonk! Player minions, so mine's gone. Okay. Let's see. Enemies, objects. No, those are. Toggle battle effects? No, I want to keep battle effects on, I think. Oh, enemies only. PCs only. There we go. And then. How status? No, I don't want any of that. Lol, picture frame. I'll do picture frame nonsense in like Photoshop or some shit. How do I hide my sword? Let's see what. There we go. All right, so we will freeze that, and then reset limb darkening. There's gotta be something to help hide my sword. Because I thought I could, like, hide my sword. Oh, wait, hang on. So what I can do is I can tab to change the camera focus. And then, there we go.
You can hide it in the inventory screen.
Cookie for Chaos. Hi there, Chaos. Okay. Because, like, that's about as good as it will get. So that's one angle. Oh my god. And then let me just do this. I'll be able to, like, zoom in and crop that one, so... Cause see how it's like... Cause I'll be able to, like, zoom in and crop it. Alright.
I will slay you with the power of love and this big sword I found.
Alright, MG pose. Alrighty. Oh, that's how. Okay. That makes... I just saw tonight's stream title. Oh, yeah. I've made it like... I just made it this silly thingy-majiggy where it added myself. All right. So if I... Is the sword still hidden when I do the doting? Yes, it is. Cool. All right. G-pose. Go into it again. And then... Oh, okay, that's a good angle, because, like, what that does is it... Oh, wait, I need to hide the, Popo. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. PCs only. There we go. Alright, it'll come back shortly. Alrighty, I will double check those screenshots and see. Do we do a poll? No, we didn't do a poll for it. It was just something silly I did. Alright. Alright, that's all that done. Thank you, Arak, for doing the poses with me. Oh. Raid? Hi there, Bookie Boo Woo. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Name's Grant. I'm a variety himbo streamer who's going through Final Fantasy XIV. Ignore the fact that I'm in a maid outfit as a bunny. That's for an entirely different thingy-majiggy, but welcome. How was Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2? Was this the previous Modern Warfare 2, or is this the newest Modern Warfare 2? Alright, I don't need to focus on that. Why is it telling me... Okay, cool, I can unfocus him there. And then with the animated thingy-majiggy in the... Alright, so I get the Chernobog thingy. Speak in Az's Law. Okay, cool, I can get to that. Via here. This will be good. This is the newest one. You suck at it, though. That's okay. Everyone sucks at the new game, even if it's a genre that we're familiar with. It just takes time and practice to get the better of it. Get back into position for the viewers? No. I'm gonna get out of the maid outfit once I'm done with all this nonsense. Don't let him fool you. Old bros have moments when they become submissive and breedable. Absolutely not. Grant, you are returned. Excellent. Thank the bloody gods. Maybe now you can stop your gibbering like a bleeding opo and tell him what happened out there. I'm guessing things went well. Have you not listened to a word I've said? Grant believes the anima has achieved cognitive self-awareness, manifesting itself as a corporeal form independent of the receptacle you created. Thank you for thinking I am the buffest Zeebs you have ever seen. There are buffer Zeebs out there on the internet, but, you know, this Zeebs right here that you see before you is the realest Zeebs you are going to see. I will be able to provide you with some himbo anecdotes and some very surprisingly insightful knowledge despite my himbo appearance. Thank you for the poggies. I've had it up to here with your bleeding cogs and corpses. Speak plainly, boy. Having experienced battle together with Grant, the anima has melded with your weapon. More than that, the anima may have taken on a unique physical form. And then what do you mean, nah? What do you mean, nah? I give such great insight, Urane.
Furrycures 1221 paid me to say he's not only buff, but he's very cute. And a little stinky. Shoot me if you want, but it's true.
Gladly. As an American, there is always a gun within reach of me on the internet. I thought I heard a woman whispering. It probably looks very awkward that, like, me, as in a maid outfit's like, I think it was a woman. Already learned how to communicate. Oh, if only my master were here. I can hardly wait to see what else is capable of. Alright, this is going good. And I look forward to going home any road. Give us the weapon, will ye? I'll bet there's still room for improvement somewhere or another. Yes, here is the death thingy-madoogies. It's maid. Yes. I wasn't wearing the maid outfit a lot of the time. I just have the maid outfit because everyone thinks you should have a maid outfit. And it's funny. It's funny. It's funny. Da-da-da-da-da. What did I tell ya? Better than new. If that anima was sleeping before, it sure as hell ain't sleeping now. Never seen a weapon do that in all me years in the trade. What an exquisite glow! It's as if the anima could burst forth at any moment. Yay! If so young an anima was able to take form of its own volition, imagine what it might become given time. A force that shines bright enough to make the very stars burn with envy. I kind of want to go for a pee. 9:20. Okay, we're kind of like getting close to the end of it and such like that. What is... Okay, I have an... Alright, I have an idea. The anima weapon has awakened from its slumber, ascending to new heights of power. Excellent. And then this person wants me to, like... Please note that upon completing the class, you will receive an anima weapon for Dark Knight. Wait, no, is that the right thing I should be doing? Oh yeah, it should be coming into my own that I should be working on. Because, yeah, that gives me no thumb. I'm gonna get that quest started, so then that way it's at least in my quest log. So then that way I know what I need to do anytime I come onto this thing offline. The anima's growth thus far is well beyond what I expected. By absorbing aether during our travels, it has matured. To grow so quickly would require a substantial amount of ether. However, the Soul Stone is not without its limits. I will be wrapping up in 5 minutes, I think. Yeah, 5 minutes. Sound good. We're gonna raid into someone anyway. Shit. Ah, nose. Ah. If we can reinforce the Soul Stone and increase its capacity for etheric energies, it should remain stable. I will speak with Rowena and see to collect what we require. Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. Beep 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 beep. I settled my die with Rowena with the bleeding weapon. Blah, 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 blah. A lot of people have gone to the furry VR thing tonight. Yes, I imagine so. Wait, when is the Ferali? Like, is there an event calendar for Ferali? Like, hang on a second. Alright, 9 p.m. It's a My Little Pony meetup. What the fuck are you talking about right now? Then we have Shark at the same time. At 10 p.m., it's the Pilot Furs and the Aviations with a Hyena meetup. From 11 and 11:30, it's the Southeast Asian or the East Asia Festival of Fur Friends.
Hey Grant, how does Darude Sandstorm go again?
Du-du-du-du-dun. Du-du-du-du-dun. You don't have the money to afford a ticket or good enough rig to run VR chat with many people? Same here. But I have the rig, I just don't have the money. What's happening Sunday? Photography meetup, Nintendo meetup, face tracking meetup at 1 a.m. Online streamer and Twitch meetup at 2 a.m. Furry animators and car enthusiasts, auto, Patreon, TikTok furries. My goodness, there are a lot of furries on the spectrum at I'm not going to be awake at 7 a.m. Fuck that noise. Protogen, Jex, Illustrator, Tadium, Avatar Showcase meetup, Synth Species, Videography meetup, IT Enthusiasts at 2 p.m. Okay, so it closes tomorrow, basically. Alrighty. With the death equipped in your speak with Christina in Revenant's Toll. If I'm in Revenant's Toll, I can, like, you know, exit out and such. There is a lot. I think the unfortunate thing is, like, hang on a sec. Let me just hit Control F. Hooves and Antlers was at 1 p.m. I missed out on Hooves and Antlers. There was an anime at
thinks you should do 20 squats.
Alrighty, I need to do me 20 squats relatively quickly. I also need to get out of this furry outfit. I need to, sorry, not this furry outfit. I need to get out of the maid outfit. We are gonna go over to... Yep, we're gonna go over to this. We're gonna go over to our badass attire. Rowena is not there. Where is she? Oh, Christina, we're talking to her. All right, let me do my 20 squats. It was a chocobo head. Stretching very quickly. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Yep, that's the point. That's the point. He does the squats as well when I'm in the game. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. I greatly appreciate it. All right. I am going to put a pause to the stream there. Woo! All right, I know this was a bit of a weirdy sort of week as far as streaming goes, but it is what it is because, you know, I didn't want to bring into anything new while streaming, and I kind of want to limit Kingdom Hearts 3 to Friday nights because I'm kind of doing a drinking thing with it. So there's that. Excuse me, I'm a little bit out of breath when I finish doing squats. It is what it is. So yeah, but next week, Atomic Heart is one of the things. Check the general chat in Discord after stream. Noted. Thank you, Renee. So yeah, hopefully I can do the Final Fantasy thingy-majiggy more often. I was a little bit anxious in getting back into it again, just because, you know, the last time I played it, I didn't feel all that great when doing it on stream and what have you, so hopefully this time around it's a lot better. Where was I in the rest of my train of thought? Oh yeah, so next week, Atomic Heart will be coming out on Tuesday, so I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow or Monday, but I will be streaming Tuesday, so I'll put that in my schedule. And so it's going to kind of throw some timing off a little bit next week, but you're going to be able to see me on Tuesday night with Atomic Heart. Friday night is going to be more Kingdom Hearts. I'm debating whether I am going to continue sipping beers as my drink of choice on the Friday night stream with Kingdom Hearts, or if I'm going to go to the heavier rum and cokes, because I'm averaging about like 30 sips or so in the stream, which is not that bad. So now before you guys head off, however, I would like to have some of you take part in a raid. We're going to take part in a raid on Sashera. Hang on. There we go. Sashera. This is a VTuber who I've learned that I've met through Dez, the Kobold streamer. They're pretty neat. I like the stuff they do. It's nice little lo-fi kind of nonsense as well. And they're in Australia. So we are gonna go and have a raid on them shortly. Let me just get the raid thingy-madiggy set up. They're going through Plate Up right now, so this will be a fun order up himbos. Like, I'm trying to think. What? Oh yeah, we're gonna go order up ! Himbo party for some protein. So there's our raid message. If you are subscribed to me, you are welcome to use the himbo logo or whatever kinds of logos I have on my side if you'd like with the message. Otherwise, you're welcome to use what other kinds of message you want with on yours instead. But otherwise, you're free to use whatever emotes, but this is going to be our message. Order up, himbo party for some protein. And otherwise, I just want to say a kind thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it as we were able to get back into Final Fantasy Iraq. I appreciate you helping me out with a lot of the dungeons and helping me get through my relic weapon grind. I very much appreciate it. Lou, thank you for joining in and the little trade just quickly there. And, you know, everyone else for joining in and watching. If you'd like to contribute, feel free to subscribe or donate to anything to the throne. Otherwise, I will release a schedule out shortly and see you all next time. Bye for now.